Yo, 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 welcome, 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 welcome back, people. It's your boy. You know who it is, Jason Gooner, and this is Jason Gooner TV, people, and we're back for another post-match analysis show. This time we're going to be talking about Jamaica versus Guatemala. Of course, the game last night at the National Stadium, Jamaica emerging victorious 3-0, people. So we're here to break it all down. I had to watch the game back this morning, make sure that I was not seeing things because I was, for the most part, very pleased with what I saw. And that is something that we have not said very much lately under this coach in terms of all aspects of the game, just being happy with it. Now, of course, there's always room for improvement. So, here we're going to bring you what we think can be improved as well. But we're also going to give flowers when they're due. So, this show, we're going to do the usual. We're going to break down the game. We're going to make sure that we analyze the game in full, see what we saw, what made us successful, talk about Guatemala's approach to the game and how they played as well. And then, of course, we're going to do the player ratings. And I do want to also play the post-match press conference. But I think what I'm going to do this time, I usually start the show with the press conference. But I think sometimes we get bogged down in the coach's conversation a bit too much. So today, we're going to flip the order just a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and talk about what I want to talk about first in terms of my analysis of the game. I'm going to pull up the tactical pad on the screen. Actually, I have it pulled up from the team that I predicted for both teams, and I'm going to show you how wrong I was on this occasion. For the Jamaica Reggae Boys, I was not so wrong. I had it pretty much close to what the coach decided to do. But for Guatemala, boy, I was in for a surprise there, and I think we all were. So, what I was talking about the groups and how they're going to be, the pots are going to be decided. I think Guatemala knew that as well, so they decided to, try out a few things on the day, play some players that I didn't think they were going to start. Apart from the number 10 Escobar and the striker Ordonez, I pretty much had most of the team wrong. But we're going to look at that, of course. And before we get going in the show, people, you don't know, this is YouTube, right? So you have to do certain things for me to kind of help me out as we go along on the journey. And you see a reminder on the screen. It's going to be ticking across the screen for most of the program. Just like, share, and subscribe. That's the best way you can support. Also, you don't know, you can become a member of the channel by hitting the join button. It is $1.99 a month. Basically, that will just be showing your support in another way. Definitely, that's a way you can definitely support the channel. Also, you don't know, if you'd like, you can always drop your comments in the form of a super chat. That's just another way to support the channel, get your comment highlighted. I usually engage pretty much with the comment section if I have a chance to. So it's not like you have to send a super chat to have your message read, but of course you will get priority if that is the case. All right, people. So we're gonna strap in now, people. Get ready. I have my sheet here. What's going on in the game, and definitely we're gonna just have the discussion now. But people, please, if you can, just please smash the like button. That's like the most important thing you can do for me. And of course, engage in the comment section. Let me know your thoughts on the game. When we get to players, drop your player ratings, because I think the more you guys participate, the better these shows are. And I just want to say massive respect again to all the subscribers of the channel. We have been getting a little bit more consistent with the content, and you guys are showing me that you appreciate it by subscribing. So we need to keep that momentum going. I plan on giving you as much time as I can, within reason. Man's have family. But speaking of family, people, it would be remiss of me to not update the people on what my kids have been up to before we start talking about football. Okay, don't know, family come before everything. Jonathan Ross scoring the goal. Yes, lovely, lovely, lovely. And he gave the little man celebration like they're too small, and it's very true, John. They're too small compared to you. But yeah, that was a great goal. I thought that first goal, I really liked that goal. But let me big up the chat real quick. Rob Smith in the building. Up, Gooner. Bless up yourself, Rob. Hope all is well. Chorus, up. Big up yourself. Every ball score start at 7. So when BVI game happened on the bad pitch, Rob said everybody get a 10. But him said today, everybody start at a 7. All right. So that means Rob might actually give us some different numbers for the ratings today. Are you ready for the yeah, man. I think it's the W short for World Cup. I don't know. I mean, the chat war. Okay. The chat war. Well, hopefully the chat war is constructive. Because banter is good, but yeah, we don't really need the war thing. But we don't, because sometimes people get in them feelings. But it is what it is. It's just words on the internet and a keyboard. People, relax. Up, Jason. Bless up, Ricardo Baggio. Yeah, man, as some father always call me, Jason. Bless up, you. Bless up, bless up, bless up, Kevin Williams. Hope all is well, my brother. Hope all is well. How can why not have Lati? How can why not have Lati in man of the match? Oh, for the man of the match thing. Lati was very good in the game. Yes, that is true. But I thought many players were. If I could, I would have put like 10 players, because I don't think many people were bad or anybody was bad. Everybody was average or better, I thought. Are you ready for the chat? I read that. Good day, TEDx. I hope all is well with you and the fam. Yo, Sylvester, you don't know. That's how the show starts. Yeah, man, up in them town every time. Big up yourself, Sylvester. Hope all is well. Gaza man said, oh, Bailey played good. Yeah, one of his better games. I will admit that for sure. Because he had his moments where he kind of, did this thing where he fall over and thing, but he retained the ball for the most part. So if him going to retain the ball, I will take it. Bless up, Alex. You don't know there. Glad to say early to class today, Alex. Big up yourself. Reggae Boys and Girls Supporters Club in the building, doing the good works, man. Always providing tickets for the people to get to the matches. Keep up the good works. Reggae Boys and Girls Supporters Club. Corey say, you and I have spoken about their keeper in the past. Yes, we have. He looked horrible in the damn rep game. But yeah, he looks like he's on a bad run, because he was horrible yesterday, but not convincing. Yeah, man, we're there, Mr. Man. Ready up for the show. I want to take the time out to big up Boza and wish him all the best. All right, Chorus. Boza, if you're watching this, or if you're going to see this clip coming back, one of your fans here, Chorus, is wishing you all the best. All right? Ideal football with the catchphrase. Yo. Big up yourself. Ideal. Jason, bless. We're after that defense line, right? I'm not confident with my defense. Great win. We're moving forward. Well, so we have to tighten up that defense line. All right, we're going to talk about all aspects of the game today, Tycoon. So we'll break down the game. We're going to see your thoughts. Richard Green said, bless up, Richard Green. I'm hearing B squad talk, but they had their back line and midfield from last game, so I'm happy the way we played in midfield. Yeah, Rob Smith, we're gonna show the comparison of the teams. When I talk about Latibo there first. All right. Ideal around the show. All right. So people, what I say a while ago, I need to show you guys the power of family, right? So as I told you guys before, my kids are in Jamaica, right? And a big part of my childhood, I would say, growing up in Jamaica would be going to football matches. That the qualification cycle where we made it to the World Cup, I would have been, a younger youth, and some of my fondest memories is games, game days with my pops and my mom. Some of the time, going super early, hearing the music and vibing before the game, and I feel so much joy in the fact that my kids got to experience something like it. Now, the turnout was not what I had seen growing up, but I always knew a 6 o'clock Tuesday game in Jamaica is tough with the traffic and all of them things. So, but people, this is the family in Jamaica pre-game yesterday. They went out to get some food, and trust me, it really warmed my heart to see them something at people. So I'm gonna show you a couple of pictures. So that's my mom and my daughter Julie that play football. Julie and my dad, and there's Gabby, my big daughter, with daddy right there. Then with Bolt, you see me making the memories. I love that picture right there. Some field pictures, but the field did look good before the game. I said, Jano. And it was actually better, I have to say that, but it still have that certain when you want to plant and turn direction, the field still dig up sometimes. So yeah, it was better though, in an improvement. I will say that. So they got to go on the field, and I have to say respect to Manning's man, because my dad told me that he came up hailing up another friend to the channel that was in the crowd, and my dad asked Manning's man if he would take them down to the field, and Manning's man said, of course, no problem, and took them down to the field. So big up to Manning's man, because he never had to do that, and I'm sure, you know, that's something that they will never forget, going down on the field. You know, hopefully the one on the left in this picture one day might play on that field. You never know. But that's down the road. But yo, people, look there, look on the close up of the pitch. The pitch don't look too bad at all. I mean, comparatively, you know what I mean? So yeah, it bring a joy to me, people, to see the girls them in at the stadium and watch the game, and you know, really, really, really make me feel good. Let me see if I can find. This is them in the game. Yeah, man. And people, to be honest, you know, when the game are going, you know, when the game are going, people, the when the game are going, the camera crew there did actually get them in the crowd a few times. They were on the top camera about twice. So yeah, bro, people so happy to see them get to go a game and experience that. And yeah, I'm sure it was a surreal moment for my dad and my mom as well, because they would have remember taking me as a youngster to the games, and now them taking my kids. So yeah, man, family is everything, people. So I just wanted to share that with you. It was a deeper feeling yesterday for me just watching the game, because I know my kids were there in the building. So yeah, man, it was nice. It was very, very nice. Now the next step is for me to be there with my kids, which will happen soon, people. Which will happen soon. Big up, Pastor. Hope all is well. So Rob Smith, and of course agreeing with Rob Smith there. Bailey need to bench every other game. Anytime Bailey get benched and have a new contract to sign, he plays well. So Christopher Wisdom have a strategy for Bailey now. Is the Richard King story true? I am seeing enough corroborative reports that I'm thinking that it is true. So I think he will be a St. Mirren player. You know, multiple outlets in Scotland, obviously outlets in Jamaica as well, and the storyline seems to be the same on all the outlets. So I would like to think that this time it's actually done. Yeah. If you ever do a ticket giveaway for future matches, I will contribute. All right, El Meeks, big up. Yeah, like yeah, I need to get on that more, because it was a little sad, the crowd, even though it was Tuesday and it was 6 o'clock. I was really hopeful that, you know, them could have get a good 25 in there, 22, 23, something like that. It looked more like 17-ish. I haven't gotten the figure, but maybe somebody that was there and who heard the figure could put it in the chat. But just eye test, it looked like 17-ish, 16-ish, something like that. A little more than half, you know, maybe 18 at the most. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it was more than that. I didn't see an issue with the backline. People have to understand how we are playing a lot of pressure and space for our backline to cover. Yeah, I think the balance is good enough, or it was good enough last night. I mentioned in a tactical preview that I thought Jamaica would be at its effective best if we inverted one of the fullbacks, let Hayden sit to keep a five at all times in a good solid base, and we attack with the other five. And if you look at the average positions of the players in the game, if you just watch the game, you can see that that really was the case. You know, Hayden did not really venture that far forward. He did a rare, you know, time or two, but it was not very frequent. And you know, Latibo there took that inverted role and played it really well, I thought. So we had that nice solid foundation with the three at the back and the two in front of them. And at times, Bell would push into that midfield area as well to make it a 2-3 when we're playing out from the back. So yeah, I liked the interchangeability that I saw. I think that's something that I've been crying out for. Fluidity, you know, the tempo, which at times was really good, other times not so good. But yeah, I think tempo is the next thing that we have to really get consistent. The fluidity was a lot better yesterday, though, and I'm going to show you guys on the tactical part in a minute. Total domination from start to finish. Warner Brown take away Bowser's spot. Damn, talk the truth. Yeah, it's very, very tough to say anything negative about Warner Brown right now. You know, the things that I was negative about, you know, because I was very pleased for him to score a goal against St. Vincent, but I thought his link-up play could have been a lot better. You know, I thought in the game he could have been more involved, more touches. He answered that bell yesterday, drawing fouls, the ball sticking to him up front. Really, nothing I can really say negative except, you know, you really left some dinner on the table, fam. You could have had a historic night. I think you could have had 4 goals. Seriously. Yeah, man, big up to the Hall, fam. Every time. Bless up your fam, girl that's checking in. Yeah, man. Which daughter play football? So the daughter that had on the jersey is the one that play football, the younger one, the shorter one. The other one does kick football with me in the backyard, you know. She don't really play competitively, but Julie plays competitively. Gabby is gonna be probably an EGOT winner one day, you know, or the president. I don't know. She's different level. I think if Guatemala was playing faster, we could get exposed in defense line. Yeah, Tycoon. There were some things that I saw, and even McLaren mentioned it in the post match. You know, it's like there were some little areas, I wouldn't say of concern, but you know, where if a team had a little bit better movement, I think they let us off the hooks a couple of times when they were offside as well. But I like the infrequency of of those situations, you know, and I think that's partly down to us being a lot better in possession. So, and I had mentioned that, you know, we need to take a few chances in attack and in possession, because if they come off and we keep possessing the football, that gives less on our defense line. And my whole thing was just make sure that we don't get crazy with it. You know, don't have your left back on it. There go the kids after the goal. Don't and big up namesake right in front of them as well. Take a pic, him send me a picture with him sit down right in front of them. So after we scored our first goal, if you watched it on YouTube, CONCACAF people, you see the family in the crowd celebrating. My mother, my father, and the 2 kids. And you see Jay Ferran as well, namesake. No Saj. Yeah, man. Mad thing, man. Yeah, but then I celebrate and I look up and I say, yo, baby, look there. See them there? Yeah, man. It's a joy, man. Yeah, so let me see when in the video this is. I'm sure them, I want to show them. Write it down. 34 minutes, 30 seconds. Yeah. Yeah, man, nice pics, man. Pitch wasn't that bad. No, Chippy find a way to dig it up. Yeah, the first one I saw was Cephas. Him go down the wing with some speed and him try plan for cross the ball and who the field dig out. Yeah, man, respect, Brando. Respect. Bailey will forever dig out that field. Yeah, man, win-win. It's a good win. Big up dad in the building. Yeah, man. I tell them, say, yeah, make some lasting memories with the kids, man. Good look. Hope they enjoyed. Yes, I had a wonderful time. Here more players coming, but all I think we need out the bunch. Lewis Baker for a backup number 6. Not really a 6, but I guess he could do a job there. Cameron Archer and the 2 right back, Max Aarons, Ben Johnson, and Rico Henry and Greenwood. All right, so you say, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. All right. What's my view? Well, I am not a believer of the lock up the shop. I mean, you can see even like with Russell, integrate back into the team, and you know, if you told somebody right now Russell go and get benched and probably cost you. So look, more players come in, the better it is, man. I'm telling you, we need the competition for places. We need when it's the 60th minute and it's not going right, the coach has no hesitation. I mean, look at yesterday. It's the first I can remember a winger coming off and we're like, who is he going to be coming on? Is it Dixon? Is it Campbell? Who is it? You know, that needs to continue and needs to spread throughout every position. And I think we'll be better off for it. And you know how these international games are. You know, I love the fact that in this game, we could switch out the right and left back, you know, and just have 2 freshmen playing there. That makes a difference. Big up Kevin 876. Hope all is well. I was impressed with Latti's game. I was as well. Look, I am struggling to remember a game that Latibodir played badly for Jamaica when he wasn't playing in midfield, if he's a defender. And even though he was inverting a lot and playing midfield, I still feel like he's more comfortable in the role knowing that he doesn't have to get forward at all. He just kind of keep in position, survey the field. But he's just so secure in possession. That's what I like about him. He don't really put people under pressure with his passes. He pass it to, he's safe in his passing, which is fine, because I don't want him putting anybody under pressure when he pass the ball. And I just think his intelligence of how to play that inverted role really help us. You think Lati took Lemby spot at the right back? I think he's a better right back than Dexter. I've been saying it. And people been saying Dexter must start, Dexter must start. I feel like Lati is a better player than him at that position. Just wish him was more technical, Brown. Look, I mean, it's not the polished, finished article, but what I liked about Brown yesterday was he had an ability to, he was very decisive in everything he did. So if he was holding up the ball, he got his body between the man and the ball, he held it down, he, held him off. If he was trying to turn the player, he did it decisively, turn him, get him behind you, get fouled, push it forward on the wing. He was just really decisive in his play. In front of goal, that's where the technical kind of held him back a little, because even on the one that he skied over the bar from the corner, I think it was low that might have knocked it down to him, and he took a nice first touch, and then he just leaned back with the left foot shot. But I think a bit of that too was just, a saying that my coach used to tell me: anxiety blocks the perfect vision. Sometimes he gets so anxious that he just, everything goes away, technique, everything. He just want to get in the goal. Here with the man, them I got upset. Brown 4 goals, Antonio 5. Now I don't know why that would make people upset though, Rob. Only if you put it in a way to start the arguments. You know what I'm saying? Why we can't just celebrate Warner Brown for the 4? What's that to do with Antonio 5? Nothing. Brown is improving, and I like how Gray showed him the love. Yeah, man. But you heard, I saw, shout out to Knockins. I saw they had 2 interviews, one with Isaac Hayden and one with Demi and John Russell. And of course, the person asked them about Brown and his performance, and Hayden had some nice words about him. Say, yo, and it's true, he came out of nowhere in terms of for Hayden, and they tried him in the SVG, got a goal, a very good goal. Scored in BVI, 2 more tonight. He said if he continues playing like this and has this consistency of scoring and putting away chances, he's sure top clubs will want his service. And those things were echoed by John Russell and Dimi, basically. John said, he's sure with these performances, people will be looking at him, and he's hopeful that he can get the opportunity and everything. So, that's what you really want. If the players are going to get the chance to play, right, where no matter where they are in their level or their career yet, you have to do what Brown is doing. You have to take it with both hands. You have to. It can't be, boy, you play all right, and because there's other players out there that want it. So there's no time to really get the chance and kind of do it. You have to take it. You have to take it with both hands. Big up Nitro Paul as well. The only critique I have of the coach is he could have substituted some of the players earlier. Yeah, I think around 70, 75, it was pretty obvious that, I thought Isaac Hayden should have came off. He's our only 6. I keep saying it. The only 6 I want to see playing there. So I didn't see the need in keeping him on, especially once he got to the 3-0. And I was surprised that a few others stayed on so long as well. I thought Ravel and Casey could have and should have came on a little earlier to spell Hayden and Russell. And I thought Dimi probably came off a boat when I thought he would, but he looked like he was a bit tired as well after the 90 minutes in BVI previously. So I would have taken him off too. Basically, the whole midfield 3, I would have tried to get off the pitch. Brown needs to leave JPL instant. Yeah, El Meeks, based on this performance, he'll be in the Gold Cup. He's going to get playing time. If he scores goals in the Gold Cup, I don't see how he probably doesn't get a move somewhere. Maybe it's not the big move that he might be looking for, but even if it's, I just think at this point he just needs to leave. Like how King is what it looks like going to St. Mirren in Scotland. I would love for him to get a move somewhere. I mean, just anywhere, just go. Yo, 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 BM, you don't know. That's how the show starts. So big up yourself. That's the catchphrase. Yeah, but offside, where the players holding the line, you could see it. Yes, I gave them credit. Well, I wasn't doing a live, but I'm sitting there saying, yo, hey, that's nice to my wife. The line, you see the line there, you see the line, how them holding the line. And there was a player not on the field. The line was held. I mean, I'm just saying. Antonio never had this team behind him, be fair. Yeah, look, Antonio, I think also I think strikers are gonna get more chances under this coach and the way he tries to play. It's pretty clear, right? I didn't see this many chances being created under the previous coach. I mean, aside from the first game he coached, the Cuba game, we had so many chances in that game. Up Jairus, hope all is well. You saw them on TV. Yeah, man. At two-time, I think Julie said next time the cameraman was right there. But I guess it never showed up on the TV. But I saw them twice in the game. After the first goal, and then there was like a play that did happen where we miss a chance. Maybe it was the Warner Brown missed chance over the bar, or it was I don't remember which chance it was, or a shot that was off target or something. And then they panned to the crowd and I saw them again. Turned out for a second is the king story true? Yeah, I think it looks like it is. I won't say, yo, Jason Gooner breaking news, no, but based on enough corroborative articles, I think Richard Green something is in something. Warner Brown 7 games 4 goals. Mikel Antonio 21 games 5 goals. Let that sink in. What are you talking about? Antonio had Bailey, Gray, and Bobby all playing in the Prem. Wednesday Blessings, JGTV, and chat. I think Brown can play at a League One or Championship level. What are your thoughts? Yeah, I think he could play in League One. I really do. Championship, I think it will be important what team, because I don't know if the higher level ones he would get the game time. Because for me, I just want him to go at a club and them end up playing at the reserves or some foolishness. I want him to go somewhere where we get the opportunity and potentially get the start. So I think there's some League One clubs where they would consider him to be able to start. So I would probably say if him go England League One, but I wouldn't rule out where Travante is. I know I don't really love that area of the world and thing, and clearly the Reggae Boys coaches don't love that area, but yeah, I would say that would be a good spot for him to maybe like a catapulting place, do really well there and then end up maybe England side, maybe Italy, Germany, somewhere like that, France, more good players, not just players. With Antonio, we always played with a two-man midfield. Now we have Hayden, Russell, and either Palmer or Gray. Yeah, J-Ross, I think it's clear this coach, it lends itself to better chance creation, better fluidity, a little more modern style of attacking. Um, so yeah, who knows if we'll ever see Antonio in the shape that he was before. But if he does get a chance to play in this team, I would love to see it, to be honest, because he's going to get more chances to score. Yeah, man, and he did it more than once. The Gold Cup will only help the team's chemistry. Agreed. And winning breeds winning people. So the fact that they won the game, that's to me like the best thing. Just win the damn game, please. All right, let me start to get the show moving now. Big up to all the engagement in the chat so far. Really appreciate it. Real Baller in the building. Big up yourself. Lati is the better right back. Now he must start over Dexter. I agree with that sentiment. Lati needs to be starting right back forward. Better than Lemby. Didn't allow many runs in behind. Yeah, positional awareness. That's his number one attribute that I see as a football player. He understands space very well. Are you saying it's the system? Both score more frequently than he does too. Keep hearing new players coming in every camp. Start to not believe. The more competition, the merrier if they do. Yeah, Mr. Man, I used to be like, if this was me a year ago, I would have in the title reinforcements coming in, and I would have spent an hour talking about them. But bro, I learned my lesson now, man. Thanks for the info, whoever dropping that. Kevin Williams, big up yourself. But I understand. I'm getting older and wiser, The team is missing an alternative sizable target man like Nandi, stature-wise. Trevante Stewart, El Meeks, but them don't want to pick him. I don't see Bosa coming back as much as Antonio does. Yeah, I think even right now, since still he hasn't kicked a ball, I feel like Antonio. People, there's more to the Bosa thing, that than the coach is really saying. So you must understand it's not just a straight up Bosa score more for Jamaica than Antonio. How the man deals is different, bro. And I think this coach has just taken the approach that he's gonna take the beating for people saying that it's fitness and form and all this other stuff. But it's more to it. It's deeper. It's deeper than football. What league do you think Warner Brown ends up this summer? I think smaller European nation top league. Yeah, that's what I think. How you feel about Gray and Cephas being on pitch same time? Don't think it works against better teams. Only one start left wing, the other comes on after. Mr. Man, I disagree with you because I don't think that Demar Gray even troubling with the left wing right now. Yes, he made some runs and some interchanges and ended up out there, but he's playing centrally. It's clear as day that he's playing attacking midfield. Almost yesterday, he was almost playing like an 8, because he was dropping real deep to get the ball at times. So it can work just fine with the two of them playing. I don't have no issue with it. Now, against better teams, you might want a more steelish player in that Demari role, but I think the balance is there. As long as we attack with 5, we defend with 5, I'm totally okay with both of them playing, to be honest. But I understand your opinion as well. There will be chances for him. He's a form player, so he'll have chances. Injuries will happen or a different situation. Yeah, if people drop out, then he could very well go back. 4 goals in 4 games for Brown. Yep. Jerome, big up yourself. Brown has shown improvement in almost every game. Very true, Stephen Lee. That's not a lie. From game to game, something about him game improve. In the BVI game, he never had much to do with the ball, but I don't think anybody did. To be honest, when you really go back and check it, the only player that was good with the ball in the game was 2 players, Demari Gray and Bailey when he came on. Everybody else was kind of poor with the football. We need to give Tyrese Campbell more game time. Yeah, I was surprised he didn't take Cephas off a little early as well, and give Campbell a little more time. I think he came on with Ravel with about 6 minutes plus injury to go. Many people said Brown is lethal when he missed 2 clear chances, and I can agree that he's improving, but not say he would have 4 goals. Yes, I did. You probably never heard the first thing I said about him tonight. I said, yo, as much as I may praise you, I have to keep you grounded because you should have scored 4 goals yesterday. I mean, easy. I mean, if I'm being really critical, I could have scored 5, but I'm going to just say 4. I want to send a message to McLaren. Don't bench the hot hand or force Antonio Neem into the starting lineup next to Brown like Grimmy did. No, I don't believe this coach is going to do that because he hasn't shown me any lineup yet where I see him force 2 strikers in just because they're on the team. Grimmy was doing that all the time, but he wants to play a 4-4-2. This coach don't want to have that shape. He want to have that 3 in midfield. So I don't think he can put him like Bosa wide and Antonio middle. I don't think you can put Bosa in the 10 or Antonio in the 10. So I don't think we would see it in a rub under this coach. Just checking in depth on the juggling. Big up Father Bling. Have 2 positives with a warning. The team may be getting the best most time together or creating a lot of half chances, but we need to be more ruthless. Yeah, the R word came up in the BVI preview. Ruthlessness. We never really see it in BVI. We never even see the chance creation that much. I mean, yes, probably had 3 to 4 clear chances in the BVI game when people were asking for 7, 8, and 9 scoreline. So we would have needed to create more than that, right? But this game we created enough to really, put on a marker on this Guatemala team. I don't care what B team, C team you play. The team we played yesterday was better than BVI. So, I will give them 1. Warner Brown is a good find, agreed. Hope he gets an MLS contract. USL is kind of shaky. To be honest, I kind of hope him don't go to the USA. I know that sounds bad, but I'd rather him go to Europe, I honestly believe I would rather him go to Europe. No, I just want him to get an opportunity. So if it is the USA, it's the USA. But I would rather him get an opportunity in Europe. Like Russell stamp himself, the man of class, real class. Yeah, man, you could see his confidence growing as well. Like, somebody touched them when him hop on the ball. It was some of the Unity Cup touched them with it. See, Biggest positive coming out last night's game for me is the performance of Russell. Love his work rate. He can pick a pass and he gets into the box in support of the forward players. Yeah, man, he showed everything in his arsenal yesterday. The tight control for such a big guy is impressive. He can pick a pass as well. That's the one thing that I don't think he was showing quite as much in the Unity Cup and definitely not the BVI game. But yesterday you could see, he had the passes. And I think also his understanding of when to get into the box and when to go and create the overload with the winger, that was on good display as well. Because, the play right before he scored the goal, he actually was over there and made the underlapping run for Leon to play the ball to him. And then the next time Leon gets the ball, he say, all right, Leon have the space now to do damage. Let me get in the box. And Leon found him in the box. So yeah, that's what I meant about the fluidity, the interchange, not popping up in the same spot every time you attack, All right, so let me get the tactical pad on screen. This is going to show you guys now. As soon as I turn it on, it's going to basically show what I had leading into the game, the tactical preview show, what I predicted as the 11. Now, I got the Jamaica one a lot better. I didn't do so good with the Guatemala one, but I didn't realize that they would be taking this game like this. So this is what I had pre-game. I had the back four correct, right? And the goalkeeper, Hayden Russell, correct. Now, Palmer did not start. That's what I had wrong. I thought he would go back to Gray on the wing and give Cephas a one rest, but that was not the case. And I should have known better because, Cephas, while he was quiet in BVI, he had pretty much 2 games where he was at the heart of everything we did attacking wise. So, him getting dropped would have been kind of crazy when you really check it. And I had Burrell starting over Warner Brown. Now, the thinking behind that was I thought that he might just go with the fresher forward because even though Warner Brown wasn't as effective on the ball in the first game, he always puts in a shift off the ball. So I know he would have had some running in his legs. But look, 22 years of age, young man, adrenaline, playing at home. The coach probably say, "Oh, you're good." He probably told the coach, "I'm good to go." So Warner Brown got the nod and definitely did not disappoint the coach. Now, where I got it definitely terribly wrong, pretty much every player that I said we need to watch out for from the starting lineup didn't play. So the hat-trick hero from the last game, Santis, didn't play. So when I saw Santis on the bench, I said, okay, they're doing something a little different with this game. So Limos, who started against us in the Gold Cup last year, has been a player in and around the team for a little while now. He got the play out on the right-hand side. Now, a player that I did mention that could have started because of how he ended the last game for Guatemala was their number 18, the number 10, well, number 20, but he plays number 10 on the pitch. All here, Escobar and Ordonez I had starting because I knew Rubio Rubin was out. And I didn't think Darwin Lum would get the start over the player who came on in the second half ahead of him and did well. And Rudy Munoz, the other player that I thought we needed to watch out for in attack, he was on the bench as well. And JD was saying this, and some others were saying Mendes Leng might play due to his ties to Jamaica. And, he's a good player. He could start as well. So he did start. Now, the players on the back line I said to watch out for didn't play either. So Samayoa, who I think is their target on every set piece, he didn't start, right? They started Ardon, who I thought would play left back as a more defensive option. He played left center back next to Pinto, the captain, right? Who I had right for one, somebody. And they actually were playing Marroquin, who came off in the first half from CDM. He was playing left back. And Herrera, probably their most recognized defender, he was on the bench, and they started back Morales, who was playing left back the game before. So completely changed up what I thought was going to happen. In midfield now, they didn't start Franco, who started and played 90 minutes in the game before. They ended up starting Saravia deeper in the midfield with Castellanos, who had come on in the last game and I thought would continue to play. So this was their starting 11 people. And, Pinto is the captain, so he would have started typically. Ardon, I was surprised, didn't start the game that I watched against Damrep. He usually started at left back. and Herrera usually start. So, basically, a couple of the players, not really who you would normally see on the back line. The base in midfield, I was surprised Franco didn't start. He looked like the rock in the midfield in the first game. Coach gave him a rest, played Saravia, who has been playing for the national team as well, so has some experience, and so does Castellanos. Then he went to the 18-year-old Escobar in the 10, Limos on the right, and Mendes Leng on the left-hand side. And basically, the first 10 minutes, I thought Jamaica, it was a bit lackluster in terms of pace and tempo. But one thing that I did see from very early on was Warner Brown pressing, right? I mean, this guy will chase to the end of the earth if he have to. And every time it seemed like Guatemala went and retreated to the back two, especially. Warner Brown did a really good job of clearing off one side and kind of helping Jamaica to set up the rest of their team to try to stop the attack. Now, this was the defensive shape that I saw Jamaica having early in the game. Defensive and when we had the ball. So basically, it looked a lot like this when we were attacking. Bailey was keeping the width. Cephas was keeping the width. Actually, this is how they started, people. I don't want to forget that Bailey started on the left and Cephas on the right. Right? So this is how the game started out. This was pretty much the shape of our team when we had the ball early in the game. Right? Hayden would be kind of split a little bit to the left. Now, there were times as well, and this is what I want to talk about with the fluidity and the interchange that I loved. So I saw instances in the game when Bailey might have come a little bit inside left, right? Gray would have dropped a little central. Russell was kind of being that extra man in the attack. Brown would have been somewhere over here, right? Cephas a little bit back here. But what I loved about these people is sometimes Amari Bell would go and take the wide space. Sometimes, and when that happened, we always kept that balance. Holgate would go wider, Hayden would drop here, Lati would go a little more central to cover. So we always had a nice foundation based on what the other players on the pitch were doing. And I think Russell and Gray played a key role in everything because they really had the most freedom in the system to do whatever, right? A lot of the other guys, you could kind of see they had much more pointed directions of what to do. So if Bell didn't invert to here, or if Bell wasn't in the back three, if Bell was in the back three, Hayden would just make another midfielder. Lati would just do this as well, right? And Low, I noticed, would always split even wider than Lati. So in the build-up, Lati even ended up in these type of positions, right? And when that happened, Hayden would go here, and Bell would kind of drop into here. So we always had that kind of 3-2, and sometimes it will even morph into a 2-3 when we advance the ball forward. So we took up a shape, something like this, right? So I just love the fact that the back five, what I would call the back five, when you include Hayden with the back four, they always had this nice synergy of we're either in a 2-3 or we're in a 3-2, right? With him back here and Low splitting out a little more wide. So to Tycoon's point earlier about the transition times, yes, there were some spaces in and around, but one thing I thought we did really well, we just had a very good organization. So in games in the Unity Cup, we saw instances where the back line might look like this. I think that whoever was on this last line in this game, the communication, the drilling was so good into the team that I didn't see any of these guys leaving this line without the others following suit, right? And that's something that at the Unity Cup we saw had us concede a few goals where we just did not have that synergy moving up in unison and keeping players offside. But that was one key I thought in the game. Jamaica figuring out how to properly play out while keeping a good balance and a shape. And it didn't mean we had to have the same exact way to do it every single time. It was a lot of interchange even in the build out phase. I was calling for the interchange more in the attack, but I'll take it if we are doing it in the defense as well. And I don't know if people notice how many different areas of the pitch this man in particular ended up when we were building out. Because as I said, Lowe's immediately when Blake got the ball, let's say Blake had the ball. One thing I saw Lowe doing in the first half for sure is going very wide over here, right? Holgate would be a little closer. And Bell either was keeping the width or he was making another inside option and Holgate would go wider. And then Hayden would just take up the space vacated. And it would look something like this. So we'll have the option, can even play through the line, one touch to Hayden, switch the play. So yeah, the patterns and the ideas and the space just looked a lot clearer. And some will say, boy, Guatemala let us do it. I don't think that was necessarily the case. I think we just had a lot more options and it wasn't as easy for Guatemala to just, zone us in any area. We had options and ways of leaving from the other side if they overload one side. I just thought it was a good setup and a good way to play out the ball. I don't know how people thought about that particular aspect, but I definitely noticed that very, very early on. Let's keep a level head about Brown. It doesn't help to gas up these players when they have so much room for improvement. Dick McGee, that said he has promise. Okay, there's a reason Brown left Jamaica at 18, even though he came back because of injury. He's a good player. Yeah, that's true. People forget he did leave, it didn't work out for him. And a lot of times people get beat when that happens, but looks like he's going to go out again. So, I can't beat him forever. Yes, we can say, boy, you never take a chance before. But maybe he wasn't ready. Maybe mentally he's ready now because he's taking his chance for the national team. So let's see. Let us see. All Bowser has to do is start lighting up the Mexican League. If Warner Brown doesn't motivate him, I don't know what will. That's true, BM. El Meeks, I don't normally give local or JPL players any support. They have to earn it. But I must concede that Warner Brown has earned his keeps. He has grabbed this opportunity. He should start. That is true, Kevin Williams. It's no point having this mindset like, yo, you don't believe in the JPL players. And then if them get a chance and them do well, you still not believing in them. What's the point of that? You see, say, me no bias. You have to stand out if you're playing in JPL before we hype you up. Yeah, man, the man deserves to get him credit, Bless up, Cranky. I hope all is well. I hope you made it back to your room safely. I saw you were streaming live in the stadium. That's a crazy move there, but I hope you enjoyed yourself. And I'm glad you stayed true to yourself as well in the press conference. You didn't ask a lollipop question just because you were there in front of the coach. So yeah, I think people might give you a hard time and say something about time and place and all this foolishness. But brother, if that is your personality and how you ask questions, why would you change because you're there? So yeah, man, big ups to you, and I hope you made it back to your room and everything safe and sound. Congrats on the big win. Respect Africans. Should I congratulate you too? I forgot to look at the final score in the Ivory Coast game. But congrats on your U20 win over Mexico. I did see that for the girls. Nigel Garden up. Not as bad as some, man. I always see my ask for the local players with overseas. Yeah. I mean, Rob Smith is just a defender of if him feel like there's a bias against people, him going to defend. And so people just kind of tag him as like a next person where not even want a heritage player play or overseas player play. But I think him stays so still. Conrad Smith, big up yourself, or you're dead with laugh. The reality is we need depth to address poor form and injuries to ensure there's no material fall off in quality. Exactly. The better off we make the group, the better off we'll be moving forward. Because how many windows John O'Star, this man out, Even with Bobby Reed out now. Remember Bobby Reed out, So it's nice that we have players. We're not like, damn, Bobby Reed out and we don't have nobody. That's not the case right now. Blessings Nunes, hope all is well. You go on, I always say only King and Brown from the JPL should make our team. Yeah, I do think Big Deal does say no Davis, no Busy, no Ming in this one. I do remember him saying that. Yeah, that is true. I always tell people to stop disrespecting the JPL players. The players are doing the best with what they have. Yeah, I think. Look, we just need to be honest with them as well. We can't just say because he's doing so great in the league that, like, this man must come out a Jamaica team for him and them thing there. That's all. I always said, though, in the areas of the pitch where we kind of need help, I think striker is one of those places, right? Because the coach either don't want to pick players that we have already around playing professionally out there, so it kind of lessens the pool. He hasn't looked at Javan East. He hasn't looked at Trevante Stewart. Um, what's another striker? He called Corey Bennett for the USA game out of nowhere, and we haven't seen him call back for him. So, with strikers, he just hadn't found what he was looking for, I guess. So, now he's gone for Warner Brown. He's found Romar and Burrell. He likes their profiles and how they play. He wanted a striker that's a little more action-packed, running behind more. And, those two players are giving him that. So, yeah. Antonio is fast. He got a chance. Yeah, man. That's why he still talks about Antonio, because he knows how he plays is how he likes his strikers to play. A problem running behind. And I think Antonio, with the strength, if he's fully fit, and doing, playing and moving around like this, and perhaps with the structure of the midfield making more sense and their ability to move the ball through the lines improving, we won't see Mikel Antonio taking the ball off a whole gate foot. There are always gems in the JPL. They just need some polishing, and they can be very good. One and any 10. Big up, Eddie. Big up. How does Pinnock fit back into the system? A lot more space to cover, watching out wide. Well, look, for me, if Pinnock gets back into the system, it's just a situation like this for me, Rob, right? So, Bell was doing some of this yesterday. For me, if it's Pinnock beside him, I want Bell to be kind of anchored on this side. Pinnock where Holgate is, and Low this side. So the two players on the back line with the most space to cover is Low and Bell, right? Low, obviously, him doesn't have the energy levels to do it. And Bell, left centre back in a back three, is pretty much his role now as a player. So he's comfortable in this kind of middle space here. Now, the crucial part with Pinnock is also going to be these two players, right? So I think what ended up happening in the past when we would go to some kind of system like this with Pinnock always used to end up, we used to play a back four typically, right? We still do. But when we play the back four, Pinnock, when we attacked, Bell would be up the pitch. Whoever's on the left wing, there'd probably be a player here. He might be even, up top. Then he'd have another player somewhere in here. Latibody as the right back might be a little more central, but pushed up. Hayden. Well, it wouldn't be Hayden. It would be like Ravel or DJ or somebody, right? And it would be something like this. And this man is up the pitch as well. Let's say Amari overlap on this side. So to me, we used to be playing suicide. So Pinnock would have all of this entire part of the field to cover. When now it seems like the balance is a lot more like this when we attack. There's always a third player. Even if Bell goes, Hayden just literally tells Pinnock or Holgate to go out here and Hayden is here, right? Now, the tweak, I think, would be if it's Pinnock and not Holgate, I would just tell Hayden, you're the man I want to go. I want Pinnock to be central at the three at all times. I don't want him to chase people in a corner flag and then place there. So tactically, we'll have to tweak a little bit. Not so much to the point where we're changing what we've been doing, but just a little slightly different emphasis for some of the players around him. So just so that when we're defending that, when we attack and we're in that back three posture, Pinnock is central of the three players. I think that will help, and that will help a lot. So hopefully that's something that they recognize when Pinnock forward back into the team. I'm concerned about new players coming in. Don't be concerned, Patrick Riley. If players are coming in now that are new, best believe they are quality. Because I don't think the coach bringing in any non-quality right now. Warner Brown in Scandinavia might work if the cold not trouble him. Yeah. It seems like the mentality is there to go through something like that. But let's see. I think Gray is fine in the 10 position. I do as well. I wouldn't put Gray back on the wing. We have Cephas, we have Bailey, we have Tyrese Campbell. Bailey, I mean, Gray don't have to go back to the wing. I think we need the help in midfield more. Beat them, want them. Some man just want me praise, man, just because them local. Make no sense. JPL is not a high level. The man them have to prove say them can compete is all we say. Yeah. Brown has a good agent. Yeah, he has the best in Jamaica, I think. Well, I'm not going to get that from me. You have to prove yourself. Yeah, man, prove yourself, man. And if a man prove himself and the people where you beat because them not give them a chance, still I beat them, and I say, yo, them not good or whatever them I say, then you can beat them, because anybody when I give Warner Brown credit right now, them just, you don't know, brother. I don't know what else you want. Brown be good in Germany. I could see that. Maybe like second Bundesliga first, so he can make sure him get the game time and stuff. And I don't think he would go straight to the Bundesliga, but you know, maybe for a team that get, you know, a smaller team, maybe, you know. Cephas alone gave Warner 3 sitters. Overall, a good game though. He's hungry and we need that. Cephas gave Warner 3 sitters, really? In yesterday's game? Are you talking over the course of his time with the Reggae Boys? I respect your opinion, but we can agree to disagree. We need Louis Baker, Cameron Archer is 22, Max Aaron is 25, Rico Henry is one of the best left back in the EPL. That's a bit of a stretch, Kevin Williams, to say Rico Henry is one of the best left back in the EPL, but he's a good player for sure. I just haven't seen him playing like almost a year. So I mean, before he got injured, I wouldn't say he was one of the best in the EPL. I mean, he's a good player though, I mean, for sure. And he's a starting player in the EPL, but to say he's one of the best, he's a good player though. I think he would be our best left back, if you ask me. But one of the best in the EPL? Damn. Bring on Spain. What about France, Demo? You leave out France. Bring Liverpool Cup. Demo say Liverpool are dead. Free Mother Silver Gold Cup squad. Agreed. Because he would have helped in that midfield area as well. Just never know JG. The coach is erratic. Don't be surprised if he fits Antonio. Nah, man. Nah. It ain't happening, bro. Him not so fool, man. The man not gonna bench Warner, and him not gonna change him whole balance of him team, bro. Him not gonna do it. We are better than USMNT right now. Antonio brings a lot more to the team than just scoring goals. That is very true, Peter Mystic. I don't think people water down the argument to the goals because it make it better for their side of the argument. But yeah, you're right. I mean, football has a lot going on besides just the striker scoring goals. The greatest example, I think, of that type of argument is France winning the World Cup and Giroud starting and playing damn near every minute of every game and not scoring. But if you ask the players on that team if Giroud was needed in that World Cup, they will all tell you he was. Begging some of what you're drinking and smoking. Yeah, man, Demo. Brother, people, I don't know why I'm so surprised, you know. When Jamaica lose game, Demo come out and say, we're the greatest. So, if we beat a team 3-love like that, what do you expect Demo to say? Come on, man. Demo just is par for the course for Demo. Like, we win the game convincingly, play well. Of course, we're going to win the World Cup in Demo mind now. Don't want the players going to the MLS or USL. Yeah, me either, Father Blink. I mean, I wouldn't like say don't go because get your bag, get your bread, but that's not. I don't think that I don't know, man. For whatever reason, the Jamaican them can't kick on from them league. The only one we say do it is Flemo, and since Flemo, all the rest of them either stay there or they go back to Jamaica. John Russell a killer. That is a fact. I love John Russell's size for a midfielder, especially in CONCACAF, very physical and will cause problems. Yeah, man, he's an imposing player. And what I love about it is him tall like that, but him don't play like a tall, clumsy player. Like him play very technical, you know. Them tell we say him too slow. Why I keep on tell them slow feet and fast football brain equals top player. Speed no matter again. Lima bring on with Spain, better we try with Catalonia first. Boy, man, even though you want to play Catalonia, brother, and kill our confidence. Yes, Russell is way above League One standard. He has developed a lot this past year. Yeah, look, I think he's a player that with his performances at Barnsley, what he's been doing at the Unity Cup, in the World Cup qualifying, getting another goal. If he has a solid Gold Cup, he's one that could be making the jump, and he's played championship level before. So, yeah, it took Barnsley a year and a half to figure out what Russell is good. Can't beat Jamaica. Yeah, but the thing is, Barnsley figured it out probably start of this season. That's when we saw the first signs, and that's why I brought him up in the October window press conference. So he could have been integrated in the team from a long time. Warner Brown, aka Jim Brown. that name I get. El Mix, you said you think we only need one more player, or that was my interpretation. Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't think El Mix would have been blocking player. Who you start? Warner Brown or Greenwood? Ooh. Yo, big deal. We'll cross the bridge there. Nobody can cross it. I like Russell right now. He's making Grimmy look foolish for not selecting him. We need a backup for Hayden immediately. Yesterday, last week, we have backup not picking them. Tyrese Hall and Janira Johnson. Well, Janira Johnson, I'm not sure what's going on, but I think Tyrese Hall misunderstood the rules of international football a bit, from what I have heard. I need to reach out to the player's representative or the player himself to try to find out the true full 100. But from what I gather, something going on with that one. Now the Gennaro one, I don't know what's going on with that. From what I had heard last, it's very close and whatever, but clearly it wasn't close enough. I said we need strength in depth and that we are missing target, man. Okay. I will never forget the 6 love we get through with the same or higher IQ. Yeah, Hayden, I hold my breath when Hayden go down in the second half last night, brother. England lose to Senegal 3-1. Saw Gibbs White and Tony looking long face and sad last night. Hey, they made their bed, them have to sleep in it now. The issue with Russell is that he's 6'4". His club in Jamaica wanted him to be a holding midfielder and wasn't good at that role. Took them a while to figure out he's more of an attacking player. Yo, no bother with that, What Jerome said. Did I miss it? Oh, we have to beat Catalonia first before we can call out Spain. Guatemala play their B team. Tell them, Jason. Yeah, man. So I'm gonna go through again because I heard JD saying this on his stream last night. So Hagen is the starting goalkeeper. Pinto is the captain, right? Marroquin don't really normally play left back. I've never seen him play left back from the start for them. Morales was the starting left back in the first game against BVI. So Herrera and Samayoa never start. So basically 3 out of the back line, out of the 4 in the back line don't normally start or play that position where they played. Saravia is now a second option to Franco in midfield. Castellanos is arguable because he started in that role a lot in the past couple of games for Guatemala, but he didn't start in the game against Damrep. It was Franco and Marroquin who started at left back. So, now definitely in the attacking areas where I'd say it was a straight B team. Escobar played really well in the second half of the first game, but Pedro Altan is definitely the starting number 10. Starting on the right-hand side right now in this team is Santis, and starting on the left side right now is Munoz for the most part. Ordonez is probably going into this camp, probably their third option. But Rubin came off in the first half injured, so he wasn't available in this game. They had the kid James come in his place. Looks like he could have played for America too, Had a good shot in the second half. I think it was the best save Blake had to make. A good left foot strike low. He had to get down to his left and parry it around the post. But yeah, they didn't have Rubin either. So I would say of the starters, right? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. I would say probably 4 of the players are regular starters out of the 11. And I would say 2 of them, you could argue they're not normally starters. Ardan and Castellanos. It looked like Herrera play over the right, and it looked like Morales take Ardan game over on the left. But basically, Ardan is a little more defensive, so that's why I thought Ardan would have started at left back and Samayoa would have played centre back. But it looked like the rankings thing just make them say, yo, even if we beat Jamaica, we can't pass them in the part 1. So what's the big deal? Better we just chill out, try out some other players, see how them hold up against Jamaica today. Ooh, Leon to the far post. Hagen with a good diving save. McLaren like a shot there. Yeah, so it's only about, I would say 2 of them are sure starters, the captain and the goalkeeper. The rest of them, you could have argued them kind of as rotational players now. So the starters will never play. You can look on the screen. Samayoa, Herrera, he would have played centre back instead of Ardan. Samayoa, Herrera would have played right back. Morales would have moved to the left side. Then in midfield now, I was thinking it was going to be Franco and Castellanos. So 1 out of the 2. Then definitely I had Santis playing on the right, Munoz playing on the left, Altano in the 10. So quite a few changes from what is their best starting 11. I think Ordonez would have started because Rubin was out and he was basically next up in line because Darwin Lum, usually they like to use him off the bench. When he play him, usually come off the bench. So, yeah. So I would say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes, about 7 players, I would say, wouldn't have been on the pitch if it was a different scenario, if it was a must-win game or something like that. So yeah, it's the truth. It's the truth. If anybody here saying that it was a B team, a lot of the players were the change-out team. So it's not a lie, you know. So you can't beat people for telling you a truth, people. If it's the truth, it's the truth. You can't. It's the truth. Jason Seams, Guatemala played possum with us yesterday. Look like they're waiting on the second game since they already qualified. Yeah, look, that's one way to look at it. The coach just said, look, we exerted ourselves quite a bit. You know, Guatemala is an altitude place as well. So, you know, their exertions might have been a little more than us. Now, they did have the extra day's rest, which I thought they might have thought about and said we can play our players again because they had the extra day, but that wasn't the case. And he didn't really have much to lose or gain, you know. I think in front of our home fans, our coach would have been under more pressure to get a result. You know, I don't think if we had lost the game and the coach came out in a press conference and said, well, you know, we're still in pot 1, so we got our objective done. I don't think the journalists would care. They would just be saying, how the hell are you losing at home again or today? So I think because of that, we had more on the line in terms of the game itself. We wanted to go into the Gold Cup giving the fans something to cheer about, give them a win, score some goals. And yeah, so I think we always were going to be the more likely team to take it a bit more serious based on me knowing that the game was really just an element. It didn't matter what happened in the game. We would still end up qualifying and would still end up in part 1. So I know that the coaching staff of both teams knew that as well. Even though McLaren in the press conference said, you know, they wanted to win to make sure that they were in part 1. So, you know, I don't know if them just never tell the coach that that's how it works, or the coach just in a brain say, I don't think it can work that way. We have to win the group to go in part 1, you know. But I don't know. He didn't. He made it seem like the win was a must to get in part 1 in the press conference, you know. I'm a little concerned that he's playing 90 minutes every match. Yeah, that's Hayden. That was my concern in the press conference. People, I asked him about a contingency plan for Hayden because, yo, Bailey always kick the ball that side, you know, for the penalty, you know. And Warner Brown just run past everybody. Yo, the man wanted people. Yeah, he's a killer in there. Burrell missed an easy chance. Yeah, man. Brilliant slip through by, I think it was Palmer. I think Palmer slipped him through. Or it might have been Bailey. No, Bailey slipped him through, you know. Yeah, Bailey slipped through Burrell. And the man touched the shot star. Yeah, he's more of a deep line playmaker. I like the fact he can show up in the box and finish. Yeah. Brown love the 6-yard box. Fox seems an easy goal. Coach had multiple options available to him and choose not to select them. Look like he want to kill Hayden. Yeah, there were some other options, but I mean, are any other options that he didn't pick actual sixes though? That's the thing. There's a lot of midfielders he never picking. Don't get me wrong, but are they sixes? I would have picked the non-sixes though, and just get more midfielders out there. If Burrell did score that, I would have said yes. We striker them good now. We say if you want him, Barry Fimo to say yes. We have some players now who can do it. This is a tactical master class. Yeah, man, it was good tactics yesterday, man. We can't go around it. The Mary Grace see first take away him game, great a drama, man, you know. Or maybe you're referring to what I was talking about with what I was saying with Pinnock or something. I don't know. I'll take the credit. Tactical masterclass from me. El Meeks, I think any more players adding to this team must be playing in the top 5 leagues around the world or has played there. No more players below the championship if they're not below 24 years. Okay. Kevin, we're ready to say, excuse you. Look how the League One player them are play good. Leave them, make them, I don't care where they forward from, but you had the caveat of below 24 years, which I think all of them would be below 24 years. All the League One ones that we got recently. Yeah, I think that's the case. Does anybody realize John Russell and Burrell have the same number of goals playing in League One? That's crazy. That is crazy. Well, to be fair to Burrell, his season really kick off like December time because he wasn't really getting much game before that. And then start get whole about like starting game. Like he was coming off the bench in like, last 10 minutes, last 15 minutes a lot. But then like, once him get him chance to start, then him did do a Warner Brown, like 5 in 5 at first or something like that. Or 6 in 5. And win player of the month in the league. Yeah, man. Green Knight 10, me all right with that, man. Rico, Henry, Baker, Max Irons, Jonathan Rowe, Greenwood, and Archer will be coming in the team soon. Those 6 players. Boy, Jonathan Rowe still a love up in England U21 life, man. Not the same can just do that because it don't work out yet. But brother, the more and more him get involved with the system and John will star. Yeah, man, get the likes to 100 people. Simple thing. We're approaching 200 live viewers, so we should be able to get to the 100 likes quick and fast. All right, respect for the 100 likes. We're at 103. Big up yourself, BBK Sports in the building. People check out Taran as well. Good content. Focus a little bit on I'd say, yeah, he focus on Arsenal for the most part, but he talks about all sports too. Does a little basketball. Just a knowledgeable person about sports in general. We did our first show together last week, and you don't know, look out for some more because Arsenal is the continuing soap opera. No matter if game not play, there's still something to laugh about Arsenal, laugh at Arsenal about, I should say. Big up One Umbrella Sports as well, putting in good work, getting tickets for people, putting bands in the stands, town crying vehicle. Yeah, man. Some people don't like him methods, but you can't really knock him result them. You see him place, you see him thing turn up, you see bathroom, what QR code in a bathroom. Yeah, man. One Umbrella Sports, him try everything. And as I said, some people don't really like him method, but him trying and him doing things. So I have to big him up same way. Big up yourself, One Umbrella. Keep up the work. Big G, big up yourself. Gray said Cephas take away his position. Yeah, I saw that interview. And it's true. It's true. The man said at this current time, what he's giving us in terms of like end product, and I like how he said end product because yes, Damari might give you better retention out there, which I've heard, but even Damari himself is saying, I ain't running past people like this guy and getting the ball in the box, I'm not doing that right now. So, and he said he enjoys the freedom of his new position. He gets more touches on the ball. So, of the 2 players, people, which one and one have more touches on the ball? Gray or Cephas? No must Damari Gray. So it makes perfect sense for don't put Gray wide in a system where the coach looking for those wide players to give him end product more than anything. I'm not looking for them to take 700 touch on the ball. And Gray kind of need that to get into the game, get into the rhythm of the game. So I think that was a part of what people were beating him about when he was playing wide. Why him have to slow the game down every time? Sometimes when him get the ball in a transition area and him still want to take the 5, 6, 7, 8 touch to set up himself. sometimes you just have to get it and go. Jano, so Cranky have a target for him head? Why you say that? What kind of target? Must miss a comment or something. What changes, if any, would you make for the next Guatemala game? To be totally honest, I would not make any change in the Guatemala game. The only thing I would change, I don't think that the Cephas on the right, Bailey on the left, like you see on the screen, was really working. So I would probably just do this from the start. And I'll show you guys what I think Guatemala team will look like. Their team will be different come that day. I have a feeling like the coach is going to pay special attention to these wide areas because that's where we kind of hurt them in the last game. So I think Ardan is better defensive option at left back will start. I think Samayoa, who I think is them best defender, like central defender, I should say, because I think Herrera is better than him on the right back. But Samayoa, he'll start. I think Herrera will come in now. Morales, I think he got a chance in the Damrep game and played well in terms of the attacking sense, got 2 assists. And that's a part of why he got to play again against Jamaica. But he definitely struggled on defensive duties going up against Cephas on that right side, Bailey earlier in the game. You know, Gray getting on that wing as well. And in midfield now, I do think that Franco will start for sure. It might be, I don't think Sarabia will start. I think Franco will start. And probably Marroquin. No, maybe Castellanos, yeah. I think Escobar was decent yesterday, but I think he'll go back to the not even veteran in terms of caps, but he's still pretty young, like 25-year-old Pedro Altan. Definitely, I could see him. I think Limos might play again, but I think he might play on this left side. And I think Santis will start for sure. So I think Leng will go to the bench. So this is what I could see them running out with at the Gold Cup. I think the main difference in this team. Oh, and I think if Rubin had to play, he probably would have played this game. So by 6 days' time, I think he's going to be fit enough to play. So yeah, that's what I think they might go with. Now, if the coach want to go a little more attacking in the forward areas, he could not start Lemos and start Munoz instead. Solid player down the left, give you good work rate as well. So it's not like he will leave Ardan dead. So yeah, this could probably be the starting 11. The team that basically, almost the team that played against Damrep with one defensive-minded change, Ardan playing left back instead of Morales. So yeah, that's what I think we'll see. But for me, I wouldn't change not one racket thing. No. I mean, you know that in the Gold Cup squad, this player will be gone, Ravel Morrison, and they'll bring in another player. So I would assume Bobby Reed will take that role on the squad, you know, that midfield option. So just because he'd be coming out from injury, I would not be rushing him back into the team. But it's going to be a good headache to have when you have the likes of Bobby Reed, Casey Palmer. You know, those are really the midfield options. I guess you could, you know, I don't want to count Latibo there because I want him to play right back. So yeah, you know, it's really those 5 players, you know, Hayden, Russell, Gray, Bobby Reed, Casey Palmer. That's about it. So in those 3 positions, those 5 will have to make up the minutes because I really don't see any other player in the team that I would feel like fully comfortable putting in one of those roles. I just don't see it. I guess you could say Lati and Lowe would be the backups to Hayden, but I think Lati playing this right back role in the system is crucial, you know. We saw Lembikis are trying to do similar things to Latia against BVI, but I just don't think he quite grasped the concepts as good, you know. So it's true that Marcel has joined the Gold Cup squad. I have not heard that, boss. I've not heard that anywhere. Or well, shouldn't say I haven't heard that anywhere. I haven't heard that from anywhere credible. I hope Warner Brown learns from Mattox and Boza. Don't get comfortable. Stay hungry and keep working hard. Yeah, he has to. Bless up, Stefan. Right. Hope all is well. All right, people. So we're about an hour and 20 minutes in. I've talked a lot on the tactics and what I saw. I've talked about Guatemala fielding a somewhat different team in the game to what we were expecting. I've talked about Jamaica having that good balance between the defense and the attack, especially when we're attacking, having that base of 5 players covering for the back area of the pitch and the interchanging that takes place in both those 5 that defend and both those 5 that attack, and how much better that's looking going forward from what it was looking like before. The Gold Cup next week, that's a good question. I do believe that the Gold Cup is going to be on like Paramount and those channels, I think, or maybe it's Fox. No, it's Fox, you know. So Fox will have the games here, so like FS1 and FS2. So as far as streaming, I'm not sure. I think Fox have streaming side things too, but I think you have to have like Fox app or some. I don't know how it works, but I'll be watching it on my streaming provider, you know. Big up Gooner and the crew. This is my first time here. Salute. Big up Eras. Yeah, man. Big up Eras. I know BBK Sports. I've seen you in his chat. So big up and thanks for tuning in. Hope you're enjoying the content. And yeah, man. I see you have dropped a message. So thanks for the subscription as well. Yeah, answered this. Let's see. Big deal. I think Burrell Movements and also Campbell, if they had 20 minutes more, something would happen. Yeah, the one time Burrell had a chance to make a run in behind, you saw the brilliant move he made, running like basically horizontally across the back line, and then in behind, you know, in between and then behind the second player he was going to go across. So yeah, good movement. But we saw that. We see that he's a very good mover. Respect to Big D Len and Jason Gooner. Yeah, man, because we are big up. D-Lo can start over Holgate. Oh, okay. So you're saying, yeah, no. If I didn't change it, I would play Pinnock and Holgate. Yes, yes. If I said Pinnock and Low, no. I meant to have it Pinnock and Holgate. So yeah, thanks for catching that, Big Deal, because that wouldn't be what I would do actually. I would start Pinnock and Holgate. 140 viewers. Well done, Jason. Well done. Respect, Umza. Yeah, man. The thing I grow, brother. The thing I grow. The people finally coming around to the facts that maybe I know what I'm talking about. Holgate starts showing his class. Yeah, man, he's a good player, man. Good player. Good player. I know, but wouldn't he have to switch allegiance formally, which could take time? All in all, it's good that he's interested. Very good player. Seems like Lower brought up the coach because he will be starting despite his rashness. No, he said he liked his experience, you know. I don't know that one tackle, boy. It was so unnecessary, brother. It wasn't even that type of game. Lowe was very good yesterday, though. Can't go around the fact. All right, people. Let's have the debates. Let's have the debates, people. Let's get right into the player rating segment of the show. So, people, you know the thing go. I'm gonna give my player rating for the player. I want you guys to give your player ratings for each player. Right? There's 147 of you in here. Even if very little of you participate, we should get a nice average of the players' rating. I will put the chats rating in as well. And then I'm going to, after we're done, look at Sofa Score and what they did. So people, if you don't want to get super technical, and you can give me a 5.2, and you can give me a 7.8, I don't care. Just give me whatever score you think that player is supposed to get, and I will look at it and document it. So first player, people, the captain on the night. Let's say Andre Blake, people. What score do you give Andre Blake for last night's performance, people? Let me know. Andre Blake, what score do you give Andre Blake for last night's performance, people? Which flaggers to be on JFF staff next? Phil Jensex spot question mark. Maybe Cranky down there interview, I don't know. We had to win, Jason. First, I have seen so much people in the press conference. LOL, they were ready for the coach. Yo, Mayor, so not everybody was being respected around those ends, though. That me, I get some news about that. Big up, big up, big up. Why not? Big up, why not? Yeah, man. Another one from over BBK. Big up yourself, you know. Respect for tuning in, my brother. BBK, I share the content to him, people. I respect that. All right, people, I did miss a lot of comments, you know, but we're going to move into the player ratings. Yeah, man, Dima making also a proper analysis. I go on. You say I'm going with low with Pinnock. I wouldn't be, super upset if that's what he goes with, to be honest. Low of a bus list. 7.5, easy game, nothing much. Blake wasn't testing much. Clean sheet, 8. So I have a 7.5, a 8, a 8, a 7.5, a 7 from Dimo. Didn't have much to do, but did well what he had to do. 7.6, a 9 from El Granero. What a feeling Blake is not man of the match. Ted Exter, boy, you're so right. 8, 8, 8. All right, so it's looking like a 8 is pretty much the standard in the chat. Did have a 9 in there, did have a 7, a 7.5. Somebody did a 7.6, but looks like 8 is the standard. I'm going to say a 7.5, and that's nothing to do with Blake losing 2.5 points. That's just, you have to do things to get a high score. So, it just wasn't tested enough. But the one shot in the second half that he had test him, he did extremely well with. And the one in the first half, when we were still kind of sleepwalking in the first 10 minutes, he got down well to parry around the post. So did his job well enough. I think an 8 is a good average out of the chat. I am giving him a 7.5. I see a lot of others are giving that as well. So let's move on to the next player, people. Let's do the center backs first, who started. So let's go with Damian Lowe as the first defender we're going to judge tonight. Look, while you guys are dropping your scores, I'll just talk a bit about Damian Lowe. So Damian Lowe, for me, first thing that jumped out about his performance was on the ball. I love this calmness. I really love Damian Lowe's calmness on the ball last night. When he went long, it was an obvious long pass open, and he did it, right? Because look, one thing I want people to realize, I have no problem with people kicking the ball long, but please do it when there's space available for the player you're kicking it to. Do it when the player has a knockdown option when you play it to him. Don't just kick it up there for no reason. And at no point last night, based on factors that included better setup in distributing the ball out to the back, and also Guatemala sitting basically in a mid to low block for most of the game and not really putting much pressure on the back line, Damian Lowe really had no reason to go long, and he wasn't doing it, people. And when he did, like I said, it was an obvious pass, and his accuracy, I don't have the exact figures, but I'm sure he was over 50% long balls yesterday, right? So Damian Lowe, for me, literally did everything good except for one tackle that could have, under different interpretation and with VAR and all these things, could have been terrible for him. The man didn't even get a yellow card, which was shocking. Really big ups to the referee for that. But other than that one tackle, people, Damian Lowe played really well. So I'm going to give Damian Lowe a 7.5 on the day. Wasn't tested that much defensively to where he would get like an 8 or 8.5 in his role, but was solid. Loved his composure on the ball. Loved how he was constantly communicating. You could see the difference in the communication around the back with him playing, because Holgate, while he's a experienced player worldwide, I still feel like Holgate in this team is trying to find his voice, like literally. You don't see him like really talking as much as I think he would if he had a little more experience and stature in the team. But Damian Lowe is not hurting for that. So I thought his presence just made it, better. You know what I'm saying? So 7.5, Damian Lowe. I think Richard King can learn a little from Damian Lowe in the sense of the organizing his backline. I thought we caught them offside in some instances that, we really were able to do it because we were so organized. I'm talking, we weren't even trying to play offside trap all the time. But in the instances when we've held them offside, it was because we were so in sync. And I just think that lends itself to better communication. So, yeah, it could have been an 8, but that damn tackle man gave me PTSD. But it wouldn't have happened. It couldn't have been a Damian Lowe performance without a tackle like that. So let me see what the chat is saying. All right, so it looks like we started here. All right, so Umzo with a 10.5. So the anomalies get taken out. So we're going to remove that one. Mr. Yee says 7 for Low, 7.5 Triple E, 8.5, Low 7.5. One mistake with the tackle, but he was composed otherwise. You can tell the team is better with him. I would have to agree with that, Demo. 7. Warren Creamy Mullins, big up yourself. Long ball FC get a 8 from me, LOL. So Swamptivity still disrespect the man, but give him a 8. All right. And his long balls were accurate, like I said. And I thought they were like, they made sense when he did them. You know, it wasn't just, I'm just going to kick it. 6.5 for Ted Extra. So that's the lowest we've seen so far for Low. 6.8 from Lone Wolf. So Lone Wolf giving me the sofa score level ratings. I like it. D-Low with a 7. 7.5 for Low. 8.5 did a lot of work, had a lot of space to cover. His transition out wide was pivotal. All right. Low 7.5, 8 for Low. That breakup play to that goal was great. Yes, he had ball first in that tackle still. I know football. I don't know. I'm not debating that you know football, but I'm debating that you know that tackle. Or just watch that again, brother. Because it's about to come up on my screen again, you know, because I have the game of a loop. 7 out of 10. See there? I never even look yet, but I know. Said the man was accurate from long pass. Low and Holgate played well. Yeah, they both did. 7.5 for Low. 7.5 for Low. Kept the line very well. Big up, Mr. Nelson. Hope you're good. Low 7.8. He was very close to 8. I would agree. I gave him a 7.5, but only because I am not including the points. Actually, you know what? I should. I think him deserve a little more than Blake. So let me give him a 7.7. I give Low a 7.7. 7.8, 7.5, 7.5, 7.5, 8. Oh, I'm going back to Blake. T-Lee gone to Blake. All right, tell me about Low. Disagree with your assessment of Holgate's vocal involvement. I saw and heard him directing the line several times while he was on the pitch. Okay, that's an improvement. Maybe I just missed it yesterday, but I remember in the Unity Cup, I was thinking he was talking a lot to Bell, but I didn't see him talking to King. And I'm like, King is the one you need to be freaking talking to because he's the one keep backing up. Oh, he got a 7.7? Damn. All right, I'm not go use sofa score. Come on. I want to keep it though. All right, me I go give him the same. May I give Blake a 7 and may I give him a 7.5. Because Low deserve a little more than Blake to me. In my opinion, the tackle was legally okay, but in CONCACAF, that tackle is very risky. It probably would have been already in a Central American country. Yeah, it depends on interpretation, man, because just getting the ball first is not enough. You cannot end up after hitting the ball so high on the man's foot or leg, I should say. Bless up Travis. Hope all is well. Maybe King don't like to listen. That could be it, thumbs up. That could be it. That could be it. I too heard Holgate being vocal. All right. So Holgate, you get some more notch in the vocal department. But the chat, I would say the chat follow. Want to say, I say about the same as Blake, about an 8. Say a lot of 7.5s, 8s. 8.5. Okay, so them say Holgate step up. Well, maybe it's just like playing with a player like Low, you know, like someone that was communicating with him, like it made him, because in the Unity Cup it was very noticeable that like he was mainly communicating with Amari Bell. Like it didn't seem turning to the other side, and you know, and King was just kind of doing his own thing, but people were just enamored with what his passing was and his penalty, and it's like he was doing a lot of things wrong, I thought, defensively. Great. But D'Lo, a lead and deserve respect. I don't understand why fans always come for him. Yeah, I mean, it's a tape, goon and a rape. I'm out. All right, big up, Dad. No, you're probably busy enough to run. But respect for tuning in. Why wasn't it Lowe's knockdown that Brown missed the sitter? Yes, it was. He had a big chance in the game. He had a big chance in the game from the corner. Or a free kick. I don't remember if it's a corner or a free kick. But yeah, it was Lowe with a knockdown. So the chat basically give Lowe 8, I would say. 7.5 to 8. Holgate game has improved. His confidence is on the up. All right, so Holgate people, Holgate. Lego King shirt now. Wasteman low, shoot forward of the team, only want to bust lace for no damn reason. Clown defender him be. Alright, Travis. We know once you beat a player, you know like a player, you have to beat him for life. That's where me and you different. Me used to beat Damian Low enough, right? But you see that one bust lace him though, in games previous, there would have been 4 tackles like that. So I will take the progress. So Holgate for me would have been an 8, would have been a 7.5 like the rest. But because he came off in the first half, I can't really rate him as high as the rest of them. So for what he did on the pitch, very good. um, again, I thought his organization with Low was very, very, very good. I thought his composure on the ball, I think that's one thing that he got killed for in his first appearance for Jamaica. Like, why this man keep on kicking away the damn ball? I don't even think the man went long in the game. I don't remember him kicking the ball past. I don't. Well, if he did, it was like less than 5 times for sure. And I know he played for about 40 minutes, I think, and had to come off. But I think in that 40 minutes he did just fine. I would say 6.5 to 7, but I'm gonna bump it up to a 7 because I thought we were defensively solid at most times in the game, and he was a part of that unit. So I'm gonna say a 7, and it could have been more if he got the chance to play the whole game. I do think he would have played the entire game if he didn't get injured. And if they keep the clean sheet, I think it's 7.5 to 8 territory, you know. But let's see what you guys think. 7 for Holgate, 7 for Holgate, 7, 7. All right, so I'm up like 7. It looked like everybody agree. 6.5, only 5 minutes, can't give him higher. He was good though. All right, fair enough. 7, 7, 7, 7. Christopher Wisdom said Low is good in the setup. He has the speed to cover Falati when he's inverted. Yeah, I think that's the reason why I like the Holgate Low in the system. And Rob brought up a good point about Pinnock. But I think it's just going to be a matter of the coach tweaking the functions of the players slightly just to ensure that Pinnock ends up central in that 3 on the back line. Yeah, I think it's a way to do it and play Pinnock still. 7, very composed. Yeah. All right, so chat pretty unanimous there. 7, so I won 6.5, but you know that shouldn't bring down the average so much with all those 7s. So chat says 7, I say 7, and like I said, after all this, we're just gonna look on SofaScore and see what them say. Amari Bell. All right, you know what? Before I move to Amari Bell, people, since we're just doing the back line, let's just go ahead and rate Richard King for when he come on the pitch. I thought Richard King actually had one of his best games since I've seen him playing for Jamaica. I know the threat wasn't quite there in terms of Guatemala, what Guatemala was bringing to the table. So, you know, in a game like this where we are pretty much the controllers of the game, a player like King is going to enjoy this game. You know what I'm saying? I think it was impressive by him. I thought he had a good grasp. He basically took on the role that Lowe was playing in the first half once the second half started. In the first half, he just went in and played where Holgate was playing. I think the coach looked at it and realized, okay, let's not pressure King on that left side. Let's give him the more side that he's comfortable with on the right. And let's move the more experienced Low over to that left side. So you saw King taking up this kind of, you know, the role that I was showing on the tactical part where, you know, Low would get into this type of area in the build-up phase over to this side. So yeah, that was pretty much what we saw. So that was King in the second half making those moves, and I thought he did them well, advanced the ball well into midfield. And he also kind of lessened his long passes as well, because he's a player who definitely loves a long pass. But when he went long as well, they were effective. I remember him dropping one in for Warner Brown, who ended up setting up Bailey, who couldn't finish. You know, I also remember him getting a chance at the back post. I think he hit the outside of the post with that chance. So and that play to me just highlighted the movement and fluidity in the team, because he started that play on the right in an advanced position, and instead of just going back to his role, you know, Hayden, Latibo there, they covered for him and he just kept going, and he ended up on the back post free, almost scoring for Jamaica again, hitting the outside of the post. So look, I think he was good yesterday. He was good yesterday, and even in the moments when he had to defend, which wasn't that frequent, you know, there was that one challenge that I just saw, because I think Guatemala's best spell of the game where they did the most and looked the most threatening was right at the start of the second half, like the first maybe 5 minutes of the second half. And here's the play that happened early in that second half. Leng slips it in, good interchange. Leng getting back to it, and it was actually Richard King that made the challenge in the box to take the ball away. That was a big challenge right there. So I thought initially when I watched the game that Low did that challenge, but it was actually him. So yeah, I did notice that this morning when I watched the game back. So I thought King definitely played decent yesterday. I would say him deserve a little bit more than Holgate for how he played. So I'm going to give King actually a 7.5. Actually, I thought it was one of his better performances for Jamaica, to be honest. 7.5 Triple E, I think that's King. T. Lee says 7.5 as well. 7.7 Salone Wolf. King 7.5. King 80 was very good. 7 made a good last ditch tackle. Yes, that's true. For his first time on the field, okay. King was brilliant. 7.5 crucial block, hitting the post and was passing was decent. Yes, I agree with all of those things. 8.5 said Travis. 7.5 for King, made a crucial tackle. Yeah, man, that tackle was great, man. I know we've been beating King for defensive action, and that's the tackle that was his main contribution to defense yesterday. It was a crucial one, so you have to give him the credit there. He also hit the post. Yes, I think it went down as a big chance missed. And like I said, I tried to stay away from SofaScore as much as I could because I didn't want to get influenced by them. So let's see. King 7 Low, he just needs to be more aware of the space he's leaving when he drives into midfield. Okay, fair assessment there. I thought the players around him did well to kind of pick up for him, but hopefully when he does make those moves, he has the mindset to say, hey guys, I'm going, or you can't just assume them going to pick up for you every time. Yeah, you almost scored. Bless up young Cryptic. Hope all is well. Cherry Espresso, really? 8.5 in 45 minutes, you joined the promotion team. Low 4.5 in tackle 2, but when it's not needed. All right, big up Travis. But King is better than Low Yerbala. Rob Smith. King is better than Low Yerbala. Don't be that guy. All right, so the chat for King, I will say probably a 7.5 is the average. I've seen some 7s, 7.7, 8, 8.5. So yeah, I think the chat gave him a little more than Holgate. So I'll say a 7.5 for King, matching up with what I said. Now let's move to the fullback position. Amari Bell on the left. I remember my father very early in the game sent me a message saying, boy, is Amari Bell just finished, like physically, and don't look like the same player? And I was like, look, I mean, he might have lost a step here or there, but I think the role that the coach asking him to play, I'm totally fine with him because it looks like at this stage of his career, he's moving a little bit more central as a player. So we're not really seeing him get high and wide as much. I think in the second half, at times, he did a bit more than the first. So maybe the coach told him, have a little more freedom, But I am okay with Amari Bell. I like that he's a good retention player. He doesn't lose the ball that much. Sometimes I do wish he would take a little more risk in possession because I think sometimes he does have the ability to play in the attacking players a little quicker. But if he has an option to play a safe pass or go for something, he typically goes for the safe pass. And you can't really beat him for that. You know what I'm saying? He places a paramount on possession. This coach does so as well. And I think, the better we build up through the thirds anyway, I think we get the numbers where they need to be. Russell arriving late in the box, Demi dropping deeper, combining to get forward. So Bell, while he probably was the one that I thought stood out the least on the back line, I don't think his performance warranted less than a 7 because he was still good. He was still good in the game. I just think others stood out more, which kind of maybe hurts his overall score. But I say a 7 for him. I didn't say anything to say he would get less than a 7. I guess 6.5 if I'm being super critical. But I don't even think that. I think that would be a little low personally. But let's see what you guys think about Amari Bell. Steady Eddie, as Rob Smith says, a 7 from him, 6.5 from Triple E. I'll accept that. Bell was probably the worst at the back line. 6. Played it safe mostly. Yeah, definitely played it safe. But I think he was probably involved in more things than people giving him credit for. And for me, his passing in this game was really good. Wasn't the most forward passes in the world, but I just like the fact that we had a team yesterday in the deeper line areas that was very, very careful, and not even careful, but very, very clinical with the ball. They didn't just give the ball away. So one of my friends had a message and said, "Who is this team playing in the yellow jersey?" It's like some of the things we were doing was impressing people so much to the point where they thought it wasn't Jamaica playing. What this low can and no wrong for you. Remember that Jamaica team play much better without Low. Him want to talk his way in the team. Boy, Travis, I don't know. They played damn good last night with him in the team, so I don't know what he's saying. Demo, the whole back line played safe balls. They barely played between the lines. They mostly played the width of the pitch. Yeah, most of the time they found Hayden or Lati, and they would play the forward pass. I mean, Bell, if he played forward, typically would just play to the player wide of him. Very rarely did he force it to Brown or anything like that, which we were seeing a few times in the past, and we were losing possession. So I was glad that they were a little more sure. Stephen Lee says a 7. I agree with that. T. Lee. Drew Ross says a 6 for Bell. Yeah, man, make them know for up the likes, man. Bell 7.5 held his own because he didn't have the support from Cephas. He retained the ball. Very good. Yeah. It was important that he did because, as I say, he didn't have much help. So he had to make sure that he was in good position whenever we lost the ball. Bell 7.7 said Tycoon. Yeah, I gave him a 7. It looks like Bell is one of the few that getting a lot of range of scores. I see a couple of 6s. I see a 7. I see a 6.5. Then I see a 7.5, a 7.7. Yeah, man, wisdom. Them are match the likes with the watches. We love that. We love that. Fabi King wasn't safe. Oh, King wasn't safe. Yeah, King was taking risk. King get a 7. Yeah, the chat gave him a 7.5. So Bell have a pretty big range, but I think the 7 probably average it out, because 6.5, 7, 7.5, 6. Good player, just that he loses concentration, especially when necessary tackle. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, so I think Bell didn't quite get to a 7.5. I think the chat probably average out to about a 7 for Bell. We have a couple of 7s, a 6, a 6.5, then we have the 7.5, 7.7. So yeah, average wise, I say a 7 from the chat, right? Then let's move to Lati. Now Lati Bodir, so many times I've said, brother, just play the man anywhere on the back line. Anywhere on the back line. And if he's playing midfield, it needs to be when he's inverting. That's it. So that he can get back on the back line, get comfortable when he's ready, go back into midfield and kind of switch. Don't have him sitting in the midfield the whole time. Because I think where he gets into trouble, when you play the position Hayden plays, there's going to be times that you have to go forward and get involved. And I think that's what kills Lati. When he's running back towards his goal and having to play, nah, that's not what he does. That's not what he does. But when you put him, you set him up to win. You set him up in positions that he can thrive. You're going to do him thing well. So for me, I'm going to give Latibody a 7.5. Right? I think he deserves, I might even give him a little more because I gave D'Lo a 7.5. I gave King a 7.5. I'm going to say Latibody gets an 8. Latibody gets an 8 for me because so many things that we did well yesterday, in terms of playing out, in terms of just defensive setup, he had a lot to do with it. So I'm gonna say he gets an 8. I think he deserves just a little more than Low and King, for his display, and definitely a little more than Bell too. So I'm gonna say an 8 for Latibody. My highest score so far in the day goes to Latibody. T. Lee says 7.7. I could say a high 7s as well. 7 says Triple E. That was impressive with an 8 says Chorus. T. Lee 7.7. All right, I get it. I realize, yes. 9, man of the match, did so much work, says Rob Smith. And Rob was cussing me that I didn't have him as a candidate for man of the match. And hindsight is 2020, but you might be right because I think I added D'Lo in there when it probably should have been Lati getting that extra choice. But you said all of them played it safe, just saying King didn't. Okay. Bell get an 8 for me. TD say 8, Lati 7, 7.8 say Lone Wolf, 7.4. That is why it's good to have Low picking up Latty's slack. Yeah, because Latty can do him thing and get involved, and it gave Hayden the support to not ever have to force a pass forward. Whenever he was in danger, he just played the safety valve of Latty. And if Latty could go forward, he would. If he couldn't, we went and reset and we started again. We looked at the picture again. Ooh, that was the best cross that Cephas made in the game. Warner Brown over the top. That's the one you're talking about, the sitter. Yeah, he should have done better with that header, you know. I'm not gonna lie. Steve Cardner says at 8. Latty made Bailey a lot of freedom and space. Yeah, man. And that's a part of why I like Latty a bit more. I think he understands space better than Dexter at this current stage of his career. But Dexter have a skill set that would be needed in times of games. But I just think overall, Latty is going to have more of the answers at the position than Lemby right now. He sat in the middle as a shield. He was inverted in the middle the whole game. Yeah, man. Sometimes when they countered fast, he even dropped back to centre back and Low would be wide of him. When we were defending, our King would be wider than him. So yeah, he definitely sat most of the game. Bell was the one that sometimes stayed wide and sometimes stayed central. But he always was staying central. And when they attacked us, he would kind of slip back out eventually to more of a right back posture. Here's the play when King just went all the way up the pitch. See fast. Oh, good try. I think the keeper might have been beaten if that score, you know. Bell 7.5. All right, we've gone past that already. Latty has to cover for Bailey. Latty 7.9. Latty was defending and dictating pace. Yeah, man, he did it all. Cardinal said 8 for Patty, but we know a Latty you mean. Latty in the inverted thing had to grow on me, but I'm going to go 8. He's extremely underrated. Yeah, one of the most underrated players we have on the team, I think. 8, 7 for Latty. Defensive, he didn't have a lot to do. 7.5 for Latty said Tycoon. Yeah, so I gave him an 8. It looks like the chat is heading towards that as well. I'm seeing some 8s. I'm seeing 8, even above 8s. I'm seeing 7.5, 7.4, 7.8. Saw some 7s as well. But I think those are a bit fewer than the 7.5s and the 8s. So I'm going to say because it's such a close, because see a 8.25 there, 7.5 for Bell, 8 for Latty, 7 for Latty. When Dexter and Bailey play together, we have deficiency in defending, but a surplus in attacking. Yeah, that might be the case for real. Travis, we can't quarrel today, my G. One reggae boys. Latty gets an 8. All right, so Latty had the 8s rolling in to get him up to the 8. So the chat, so far, Blake D-Low with an 8. I think Latty also deserve an 8 from the chat. Like I said, we did have some 7s in there, but the 8s outnumber them. And the 7.5s and the high 7s kind of keep us closer to the 8. So I'm going to say the chat and myself both went with an 8. Isaac Hayden in the middle, another player that I think is unsung, but we know that role is kind of, it's kind of like being a football administrator. You know, you just do your job and you go home and nobody don't really talk about it. But yeah, Isaac Hayden for me, solid 7. You know, did most things correctly. I love the fact that there were a few times when he got dribble pass and he didn't, not even dribble pass, but he had the option to kind of pull a player down and he didn't touch him, you know, didn't get the stupid yellow card. I thought his passing accuracy was on point in this game. You know, he was more involved touch-wise. I thought he had, I don't know if it's a fact, but I would venture to say this was the most touches he ever had in a game for Jamaica. So I'm going to say a 7, only because in that position, you kind of need to have a bit more defensive actions to get higher than that. But he was very, very solid, man. 7 for me. I think 7.5, I wouldn't even be upset if people think he had that. But I'm going to grade him a 7 because there has to be some, you know, everybody can't get the same score. And I don't think Hayden was as good as Latibo there, for example. So I would say Hayden got a 7 for me. All right. But let's see what you guys think. Hayden gets an 8, 7.5 from Triple E. T. Lisa 8.2, 7.5 for Hayden, 7.3, 7.5. So clearly, I'm not ranking Hayden as high as everyone, which is fine. 7.5. This was his best passing game for me. Yeah, passing was impressive, man. Forward passes as well, long passes as well. By the time I see the man just send a ball diagonal to I think it was the Cephas when he was still on the right, and the ball was man not even move, boom in them chest. So yeah, man, I hit that driven. Yeah, 7.5, very good. 7.5, 7.5 for Hayden. 8, Isaac key to our team and a solid performance. He and Lati close the gaps and force long shots. True. Bell 7.5, Lati 8. All right, J. Ross, respect. Hayden 8. All right, so it look like Hayden get a damn 8, you know. I mean, 8.2, 7.5, 8. 8 point, I said that already, 7.5, 7.3, 7.5, 7.5. So maybe a 7.5 probably fairer. Tycoon coming with a 7.6. We'll have the 8s in there for Isaac, but I think the 7.5 was the most common one. So let's be fair and give Hayden the 7.5 from the chat. Drew Russ with a 7 for him. Oh, he nearly scored with his left. Yes, that was a good shot. On first glance, I didn't think that shot was so close, but then when the replay came, I said, damn. That was a lot closer, and the goalkeeper was scrambling. Yeah, it was a good try. At first, I was like, damn, man, I kick that so high. But then when I saw the replay, I was like, that was not far off. It was like, you know, like talking like this from the crossbar. 8 for me. I think Hayden do the dirty work good that we can miss because it usually doesn't create no goal. Facts. It's a position that's kind of thankless. You know, like I said, it's a football administrator type job. It rarely hear people that say, yo, thank God the man them do the right thing with the football. But as soon as they mess up, me and everybody else are going to beat them. So I think the number 6 position on the field is a similar position to that. Because when you do it well, typically we don't really see you. You know, you just kind of move the ball along to your teammate them. And you make some tackles that, you know, then turn into some kind of highlight that your players do after you pass them the ball. So you want England in our group for the World Cup. Wouldn't that be something? Jeez and peas. That would be crazy, you know. That would be crazy. All right, Jonathan Russell, one of my candidates for the man of the match in the chat. I thought this player was excellent in the game, people. Not going to lie to you. From the first time we got the ball, like under control, we start playing. I'm like, yo, Russell, you are a good player, man. At least, I would say at least 3-4 different times in the game, different people messaged me or a group I'm in and said, Russell Abala, or Jano, Russell have more team game than I thought, or just people just happy with how John Russell was playing. And I think, again, he's another player that it just goes to show sometimes when we analyze players, and even his club and people in England have been guilty of this, but we were definitely guilty of it. We see a player's size, we see a player's like movement and physical attributes, and we automatically assume what type of player they are. So we see a 6'4" tall, lanky player, and we say, yeah, man, we find a number 6. When from the first time we saw the man play for Jamaica against Mexico, what stood out to me was his passing ability. It wasn't nothing to do with his tackling or his running and chasing and none of that. So, you know, we need to look at what players do, what they do well, and we need to use them accordingly. And that's why I have to give credit to not only McLaren, but definitely to the coaching staff at Barnsley. Because the minute they said, okay, you're at 8/10, John, I want you to get involved, then you start, ooh, there's the shot by Hayden. But yeah, I think this guy played immense. I'm going to give him the highest score on the pitch so far from me. I'm going to say an 8.5 for John Russell, people. I loved how he played this football game. Everything about it is his ability to cover the ground, right? His ability to get involved with Bailey when he wants to overload wide. His ability to get into the box late. His passing ability as well. You know, his ability to beat players off the dribble, you know, getting into duels more, you know, just moving more. And I think while when he first came, maybe he wasn't at tip-top physical shape in terms of what he is now, but he has worked on himself, and you can see the difference in how he moves around the pitch now. And he seems to have quite the stamina as well, because even though he did get tired in that second half, I don't think he was one of the ones that I was like, get him off the pitch. I would mainly want him off the pitch just so that him don't get injured, because I want him to play the next Gold Cup game. But it was not about me thinking that him tired or boss or anything. So that's something that is very important to note. So let me see what the people think about Jonathan Russell. So Russell get a 8.5, 8.5, 8.5, 8.5, 8.5, 8.28. Russell Prime Zizou 8.5, TD 8.5, 8.5. Russell was vital. Yeah, man, that number 6 role, not for him, not at all. Russell Love 1, 2, and Flair. Yeah, look, he's a player that give you everything you want out of the midfield, and then I think naturally he doesn't play. Him don't have a vanilla style of football. Like him kind of will. Him not afraid to do the step over. Cut back the ball, stand up on the leather. He plays with a little bit of style too, which I think Jamaicans will like. Russell could honestly get a 9. He could. Pogba like. Only thing I don't see him have like Pogba, I'm yet to see him really crack a shot. So that's one thing that Pogba do when I see him do. But on the ball, technically, Pogba was like a different type of skill level still. But yeah, I mean, Pogba like, okay, it might be a bit far, but I see what you're saying, No, Zizou definitely a bit far, and Pogba as well. But he's a very good player though. Russell could have released Bailey a bit more, but 8 reminded me of Bellingham. Yeah. There was a few times where he never decided to play the over, like he never. I don't know. Maybe him know him personnel though. If it was Cephas, I think him played. But Bailey not run down ball like that, brother. Bailey want the ball to him foot nowadays, man. Russell was my co-man of the match with Brown, 8.75. Fair enough, Warren. Russell gets an 8.6 from Tycoon. You remember Peter Crouch? Of course. I still want to see him sit a bit and defend, because when we play a team and don't have the ball, we're going to need him to defend. But it was class last night. Well, Rob Smith, that's where I just want the guys to find, the coaching staff to find some more defensive-minded midfielders, bro. Because I don't think that Russell is going to play well when you tell him he can't go forward. So there'll be games when you have to bench him or Dimi, because you can't have all of them doing what they're doing. But the problem is we don't have the personnel to play another player that will sit. That's the biggest problem, bro. We need another 8 and preferably another 6 too. But Bobby Reid, hopefully, because we've seen him play the role and sit and do it decent, play it very well. So I think maybe in those games when we need a little bit more sit, even though one player is a giant and the other one is shorter, I think Bobby Reid would do the sitting better than Russell would, personally. 100% want him in our group. I wish we do better in the set pieces. We can position ourselves more strategically on the set pieces. All tall come together and run diagonal near and far post for the ball. All right, Wisdom, we might need a set piece coach, Maybe you can put in your resume. Bless up Vinsky, hope all is well. Yeah, man, brilliant game. Good ball retention and patience, agreed. Belly Lati 7, 8 and 7.5. So the man them stop rate Russell. Russell get an 8. All right, so it look like Russell get an 8.5. Because I see a few 8.5s, some 8s, but mainly 8.5. So let's move on from John Russell. So the chat and me agree there. I give him 8.5 as well. Next player we're going to discuss is Demarai Gray. So Demarai Gray for me had a good game. I don't think he was quite as good as like Russell or Lati, just personally to me. But I think he did enough in the game, created enough in the game that I am happy with their performance. He did win a penalty as well, which we can't forget. Again, even in that more attacking midfield role or creative role, the ball retention was excellent. I want to say, I'm not sure exactly what the passing stats were, but I don't remember him having many misplaced passes. He did get caught on the ball a few times, dribbling, and did lose the ball, but not enough to where I would say, boy, what you do? I wasn't cussing him or anything. So for me, Demi Gray gets a 7.5. Don't think he was quite as good as Lati, like I said, but I think he was very good for me, or good enough for me, and I think he pretty much solidifies that role if he's going to play that more central role, as long as he has the freedom to find space. I like how he didn't just live in the half space either. Sometimes he would be wide as well with Cephas. And let Cephas, tuck in a little central and interchange sometimes. But yeah, I liked it. I liked how it looked with Damari Gray and Russell and how they deployed themselves, because really and truly in attack, it was like when we had the ball, it was like basically like a 3-2-4-1. So there were the 4 players behind Warner Brown, and at various times that 4 behind Warner Brown would be at different levels, and that's what we wanted to see change from the BVI game. It just felt like all of them were always in a straight line. This time one would drop, one would go, one would drop, one would go, one would over, one would under. It was a lot more interchange, so we love that. All right. Bobby Ray Bean, don't panic. Yeah, he's gonna help. All right, 7 for Gray. Thank you, TD, for clarifying. 8 says Triple E. 8 says Stephen Lee. 8 for Demi Gray. 8, 7, 7.5. I agree with that one there, Rob. 7 for Gray and 7.5 for Bailey. All right, so no one does grade Bailey same time. Well, Bailey, we're going to be the next one, but I'm going to wait. So D Gray first, people. 8. So you can drop it again for Bailey TD when the time comes. 8, 7, 7.5, 8, get an assist and won the penalty. Yes, there's the assist from the corner right there to Warner. I love what Demi did after he scored the goal as well. Like puff him chest and say, yo, youth, yeah, do it. Just keep it up. Demi 7.5 got exposed a few times, and he falls back to his instinct to move wing and overcrowd Cephas. Okay, so he didn't like when he went out there. I actually liked it because it was making it to where the defense couldn't key on the players because they weren't sure where they were going to pop up. But I understand maybe in certain times you didn't like when he did it because it was overcrowded. Okay, no problem. That looked like training, which scared Guatemala, is that get rid of that coach, Guatemala. But I wouldn't get rid of the coach. Based on how we see them play against Damrep, I think the coach is just fine. I just think they looked at it and said, listen, man, we have nothing to really gain from this game. Like, we cannot move. We're going to be in part 2. So let's just stay in part 2 and done. All right, so UCC first take away his spot, so you have to adapt. Yeah, man say anyway the coach put him happy with 8. All right, so I think average-wise, Demi probably get a 7.5. That's the score that I saw more than any. He did get quite a few 8s though, so it could be like a 7.75. But just since I've only been doing 0.5s and whole numbers for the chat and me, I'll just say based on the amount of 7.5s, it's probably closer to a 7.5 because I didn't get many over 8 and I did get some below 7.5. So yeah, I think 7.5 is the fair one for Demi. Now let's move to Leon Bailey, people. Leon Bailey always divides opinion. Look, I didn't think Bailey was horrible in the game, people. I thought Bailey had one of his better performances. And if you guys don't think you're going to have to live with Bailey losing the ball from time to time and over dribbling from time to time, then you guys just don't watch Leon Bailey enough. That's how he plays, people. He's going to do that from time to time. But what I loved about this Bailey performance is in the decisive moments when he didn't over dribble or when he didn't slip, he did something decisive, had the key passes, had the big chances created. But again, it's Bailey, so it's going to be a up and down roller coaster ride. Missed a penalty, set up, I think 2 good chances, or was it 3 good chances? I know he had at least about 4 very good passes in the game that would have put players in behind or set up chances. Maybe not from his foot directly, but the next pass was a chance set up. So yeah, Bailey was involved in a lot of the good things with it attacking wise. At some point, had the assist to start off the game, which I think was crucial to get a goal relatively early in this game, just to get the fans really in good voice. The start was very lackluster for the first 10 minutes, but once we got into the game, we started to create chances. And Bailey was at the head of that once he made the switch to the right-hand side. I thought he was Cephas and him actually were pretty ineffective where they started the game. Cephas did make that one run down the right-hand side and tried to cross it, but it went to the keeper. But yeah, there's another time he never released Bailey. That was bad. Him should have given that time. So yeah, I think Bailey, penalty miss, but the assist create another good big chance. I think he did more positive than negative. So I'm gonna say he gets the same as Demi for me, 7.5. So Bailey 8.2, 7.4, 7 for Bailey from Drew. Bailey, our poster boy, 7.8. 7 would be 7.5 if he never missed the penalty, but one of his best games. Yeah, I was thinking 7, but then I say he missed the penalty, but he had other situations that he did very well in to kind of get back the score. So that's why I'm give him a 7.5 still. But now 7 is decent too. I wouldn't cost that. Andre Moore says 7. Won a penalty, 7.5. He was good with his take-ons, no fear, and the whole team dug in. I think that is Gray you're referring to there, Warren, I believe. 8.5 for Gray. So some still saying Gray. 7.9 due to his over dribbling, but I like his aggression. All right, thank you, Wisdom. 4 consistent game for me. 8 says Rob Smith. All right. Bailey 7.5. Stop taking penalties, says Jairus. Cephas. Okay, we'll soon get to Cephas, but I was gonna do him next. But I have an 8 for Cephas already. I'll try to remember that when we do that. Let me see if there's any more Baileys. Bailey's a pure winger, so you deal with the bad. Yeah, I mean it's similar to Cephas. Like we're never going to get a game where Cephas do every right decision. It ain't gonna happen, and Bailey ain't gonna happen neither. You know, now would want more right decisions than wrong? Absolutely, but it's just not possible for an attacking winger to just make the right decision every single time, especially when they are risk takers. You know, Leon is a risk taker as a winger. He doesn't really play safe. Bailey showed me more fight this time around. Even when he slipped that time, could have scored twice. So 7.5 for me. The first goal was key. Facts. Bailey 7, hold on the ball too long for me. Yeah, at times he still does that. That you can't go around that. Thought he was better than Dimi. I thought they were about the same, to be honest. Great ability to cut left and right. He's talented. Bailey leaves penalties alone for Jamaica. Yeah, I agree. Just stop them. Check how much Jamaica penalty Bailey missed. I think it's 3 now. I missed against USA in the Gold Cup. He missed this game, and I think he had one other one that he missed too. I know he scored in St. Vincent game, but I think he missed one other one. I'm pretty sure. 7 for Bailey. All right, so it looked like Bailey get a 7.5 as well, I would say. Some 7s were in there, but I think he got enough over the 7.5, got a 8.2, another 8 somewhere in there. I think Rob Smith gave him an 8. So yeah, I think Bailey probably gets a 7.5 then, if we average out the chat. Now, Ronaldo, Cephas, people, the next player. Quick and fast, people, quick and fast, Cephas. Okay, 2 out of 4. Okay. I know he missed 2, but I couldn't remember. I know he took 4, but I couldn't remember if it was 2 for 4 or 1 for 2 for 4 or 1 for 4. Couldn't remember. Can't blame Bailey for the penalty. I blame the other players for not taking the ball away from him. Lone Wolf is Cephas at 8. All right. I know Alex did give him an 8 as well. I did see that. Cephas 7.2, 7. T-Lee says 7.5 for Cephas. 7.5 from Chorus as well. All right. So me personally, I think he was a little bit. He wasn't quite as good as Gray and Bailey for me. So I'm gonna say he gets a 7. Now, I think it could have been better for him if players were a little more clinical. So it's kind of tough to rate him a 7, but I do feel like he just wasn't able to be as influential. I thought Bailey was more dangerous. I think Cephas had like a spell in the second half where he did really well, but it was just for that little time. The rest of the game, he was pretty quiet. So, but I think that spell he did enough to give him that 7 though. So I'll say a 7 for Cephas. But I see an 8. I see another 8 up top from Alex for him. 7.5, 7, 7.2, 7.5, 7.75. Cephas 7.5 from Jairus. played well, made good decisions, getting those crosses in. Yeah, I did think his decision making was better. I did think it was better. I almost thought sometimes he had the chance to take on the man and didn't, which was surprising. But yeah, can't believe I'm cussing the man for not taking on people when I was asking him to retain the ball more. So I need to be fair as well. I gave him a 7 people. Like I said, I'm kind of gauging it off. I just think Gray and Bailey did more in the game than Cephas. So I can't see him getting the same as them, you know, and I gave them 7.5. So Cephas 7. It looks like the chat is averaging out. Okay, Cephas was not an 8, it was a 7. All right, thanks, Warren. So I think that was Bailey you were giving the. No, you're giving Gray an 8, probably more than likely. Yeah. All right, cool. Cephas 7. He made some good crosses and he showed a little improvement. So it looks like the average for Cephas though is okay. Kick 5 and miss 3, says Fresh God. So thank you, Fresh God. He's 2 for 5. Damn. 40% is not good in penalty shots. Fresh God, what up? What up? Warren Dunn from Clarendon. All right, so Cephas looks like he got a 7.5 from the chat, a little bit higher than what I gave him. And then let's move on now to the brace man himself, Warner Brown. Look, for me, he missed chances, people. Does that enough to drop him below Jonathan Russell 8.5? For me, I would say no. I think I'm giving him just the same as Jonathan Russell at 8.5. Could have been a 9, 9.5 if he got the hat trick. You know, I just wish he could have finished that chance when his pressing gave him a chance, because I think he kept pressing and pressing and pressing, and he never really did anything to cause a turnover until that one play. And if he could have just finished that chance, bro, he deserved that goal more than any of the other ones, because he pressed non-stop and never really got much joy personally, like win a ball. And then the man finally win the ball and couldn't bury it star. But the other 2 goals he scored, I love the penalty rebound. I love the penalty rebound, people. I love it because that is the type of goal where I feel like Jamaica was missing. And I think the characteristics that Burrell and Brown bring, with that fox in the box, poacher, run down every ball, battle for every ball. It's changing how we play, how teams play against us, as a matter of fact. But Brown, I mean, look, before he even scored a goal, I was so impressed with his hold-up play, because I'd never seen him hold the ball up that well. Even when he's playing for Arnett in the JPL, that's one of the things I always talk about with Warner. I wish his hold-up play could get a little better. The ball don't stick enough. It bounced too far off his body when I feel chase and win it back. This time it was a lot better in that regard. Way better. So even without the goals, he would have get a high mark from me because of that. Then when you add the goals with it now, it could have been a 9.5 or 10. I'm telling you. But we have to count the chances, man. Cephas gave him a great header. Right? Great header. Should have put that on target. When he wins the ball in the second half, after his pressing, right? And then in the first half, from the set piece, when Lowe nods it down to him, he touches it down nicely with his right foot and then skies it with the left foot over the bar. You know, that play right there would have been one that I would have wanted him to be able to finish off, but he didn't have the chance to do so. So yeah, those 3 missed chances, 2 of them being pretty big ones, one of them being a clear-cut one. You know, that's what to me brings the score down from that 9.5, 10 to an 8.5. But Warner Brown, keep up the good work, bro. You're proving a lot of people wrong, including myself. I didn't think that you warranted a start in this team. I was starting Burrell over you. But I mean, you showed me something in this game in particular that, you know, I never doubted your energy. I never doubted your ability to press. But some aspects of your game I was questioning. Did you have the confidence to drop and link up, which I saw more of? Did you have the confidence to take a ball on your chest with somebody behind you and hold it up properly, get fouled? I saw that as well. So Warner Brown, look, I'm just going to keep saying things you can't do, so you prove me wrong. All right? I'm going to take credit for you doing this now. I'm just kidding. Warner Brown, keep up the good work, bro. Brown, 8.5, 8.5, 8.5, 8.5, 8.75, 7.5 from fouling. So him now leave out the chance they missed. Warner Brown, 8.2, scored 2, but missed 3 others. Yes, it was, I would say he had 4 big chances. I would say the 1/2 chance I would give him is probably the header from Cephas. I don't know if that was quite a big chance because it was a little bit behind him, like a little bit. But I think he looked back at it and say, I should have executed that better. 8.5, 8.5, 9 for Brown. He needed to be more selfish and not pass the ball to Bailey in the end and shot. He needed that hat trick. Well, his back was to goal. So you remember last time Cephas had the option there in back heel it. So I'm not going to kill him for that pass. He missed 2 big chances. Yeah, I wouldn't count the header one as a big chance personally. But I think the one when Low knock it down to him and him touch it and him have it right in front of the goal on his left foot, kick over the bar, that's one. And the one where he had the goalkeeper 1v1 after him do the press and win the ball. Brown did a lot more than 4 goals last night. Held up the ball, link up, found some good passes. 9. Agree, Jason says Warren Webster. He showed hunger and sharpness. Just need to be more clinical. Facts. Missed the easier chance and scored the harder ones, don't it? So 2 from 4 then. Could have swore it was 2 from 5. Yeah, I remember him taking 4 I thought, but I'll do some research. Here's the play where I'm late off again. I mean, that's Bailey's bread and butter, you know, man. Touch it to the right foot, left foot, bury in top corner. Damn, man. Wish Leon did score that. Drogba in the making, 8. Mad. So you see, he likens him to Didier Drogba. Missed 1 penalty twice versus USA. 7.25. Okay, interesting. That must be for Cephas. I think Warren a little behind. Warner Brown 9. Arnett Garden graduates a lead. You see it. Warner Brown 8.5. Okay, thank you. So yeah, I think Warner Brown gets a 8.5. I would say that's the most used score that I've seen. So based on the chat, you guys ranked Russell and Brown the highest. I ranked Russell and Brown the highest as well. You guys had a few more 8s than me, you know. On one of the bench as well, we did Richard King, who played the most time off the bench. On one of the rest of the bench, Casey Palmer, Burrell, Morrison, and Campbell. I mean, you think they played enough to really get a proper rating? Let me know. They each got at least 13 minutes. Burrell did miss a big chance. That's probably the one thing that the people off the bench did. I thought Casey and Ravel did well to, you know, keep the football, keep the tempo, keep the team ticking and going. So Fresh God just giving us some takes and some scores since he hasn't been in the building. And big up to you, Fresh. Long time we not to see over here. Okay, so he's just doing the subs. Thank you, Fresh. King 6.5. The chat gave King a 7.5 and I gave him a 7.5. Morrison, who we did not rank yet, get a 6, 6, 6. Yeah, I think most of them get standard 6s, 5.5 maybe. Burrell kind of missed the chance. So yeah, I'd be good with a 6 for each. I think Morrison and Casey potentially could get a little higher because I thought I saw them influence the game a little bit more than the others. But I think Burrell did well to get a chance in the little time he had. Would have loved for him to at least make a better attempt though. It was a very flimsy looking shot, you know. I didn't like that about that, but the movement is there for all to see. Action pack striker. In the same management group, Boza is actually a mentor of his. Okay, cool. Ravel doesn't fit this style of play. I think in a way you're right, but at the same time, like there's instances in this Gold Cup coming up where, you know, we might have a 2-0 lead second half and we don't necessarily need another goal, but we just want a little control in the game. And at this stage, the way Ravel is playing, he's just looking like he wants to help us possess the ball. You know, like he just drops off deep and collects from the back line, keeps it ticking and moving. And that sometimes is needed in a time of a game. So, you know, Brown 9, he was pressing. King 7. All the subs 6.5 made our subs late. Yeah, I think 77th minute or later were the 4 other subs besides King. Would you keep Lati at right back going forward? Yes, I would personally. I think there will be games where Lemby might be the better choice based on the opposition. Like if we know we want to, you know, target a specific area Lati is more likely to give you something going down that right side. We've seen him cross the ball, we've seen him cut in and score goals. So it just depends on the opponent. But I think against the better opposition, I think Lati Bodir should play where he played yesterday. Palmer kept the tempo up 6. Question: TC speed, how do you assess it? Or you don't see enough? It looked like Tyrese Campbell yesterday was just getting a feel for it. You know, he never really got a chance to really stretch his legs at all and get going. You know, so it just, you know, sometimes when you come into a game that late, the impact might not be as easy to show because, yeah, exactly. He's just like that. We got the game won, bring him on, shut off the thing. You know, I definitely see him having that. But yeah, as far as TC speed, he definitely has it. I think we'll see more of it at the Gold Cup. I think, you know, when we get on these pitches that are, you know, larger, because I think sometimes the speed merchants for Jamaica at the stadium may not have as much joy just because the field isn't as big. You know, if you look at part of the reason why Cephas was so effective in the Unity Cup, Brentford have a wide damn field in a man. So he has space, you know. But yeah, I think just scratching the surface is what we're going to see from Campbell, man. There's way more in the player than what we would have seen yesterday. So just hold tight. Yeah, man, he's very, very fast, man. Just never get a chance to show it. Palmer improved postseason. That's a good thing. Yeah. He has been looking better. Looks more confident now. more at home in the team. All right, people, look, we have gone 2.5 hours on this marathon post-game show. We went through the tactics from my side of things. I did say we would talk about the post-game press conference, but people, I really don't see the need right now to do that. This content we're just going to keep to our assessment of the players. One last thing I wanted to do. I wanted to see how close we were to SOFA score. Like I said, I looked at the overall stats on SOFA score, like the possession and stuff, but I made sure not to really pay too much attention to the scores, like of each player. But I do want to show you guys, based on what we did, how close we were or far away we were from what SOFA score thought. All right, so let's see. So we'll see here. Amari Bell, Andre Blake got a 7.3. The chat gave him an 8, and I gave him a 7. 7.3 was the SOFA score rating. Damian Lowe got a 7.7. So that's actually a good average between the chat and me. So the chat gave him an 8, I gave him a 7.5. So that's pretty much spot on there. Then we have Holgate, and the chat gave him a 7, I gave him a 7. He got a 6.8, so we're not far off there either. Then let's move straight to Richard King. SOFA score have him at a 7. We both had him at a 7.5, so that's not too far off either. Then we move to the left back. Amari Bell got a 7.3. I gave him a 7. Chat gave him a 7. So we actually lowball Amari just a little bit there. Right back Latibo there got a 7.2 from SOFA score. So we definitely thought that he did more in the game than what the statistics would suggest. We both gave him an 8 for his performance. Hayden I gave a 7. Chat gave him a 7.5. SOFA score gave him a 7 as well. John Russell got a 7.7 on SOFA score. So we actually thought he did a little bit more than what they thought. 3 key passes, that's very good. We both gave Russell at 8.5. Then we have Leon Bailey. Okay, first we did Damari Gray. 7.3 on SOFA score. Chat and myself agreed with a 7.5, so we're close there. Leon Bailey now 7.5 from me, 7.5 from the chat, and he got a 7.4 from SOFA score, so we're in far off there. Cephas with a 7 from me and a 7.5 from the chat, and a 6.8 from SOFA score. And then up front, Warner Brown got a 8.1 from SOFA score and an 8.5 from the chat and myself. We didn't really do the bench ratings all the way, but Palmer 6.8, Burrell 6.2, Morrison 6.8, and Tyrese Campbell with a 6.6 in the football game. So one thing I did want to show you guys, though, the average positions, and we spoke about this on the tactical preview, people. I wanted us to attack with 5 and defend with a balance of 5. And you can see, even though some of these players did venture forward at times, their average position was right about at the half line. And that's what we wanted. We wanted the front 5 take care of the attacking business. And that's what they pretty much did. So the positions of Bailey and Cephas are very narrow, and that's mainly because they started out on one wing and switched. So that's going to influence their starting position. So that's not really that accurate. They should be more wide in their areas, and this is where the two 8/10s would have taken up space most of the time. And there's the Warner Brown leaning the line. So yeah, that's pretty much it, people. But yeah, that is it, people. Had a great time bringing you this content. I just want to say a maximum respect to all the people that pass through. Big up to Dad. I know you're busy most of the time, and I know you have the kids over there. But yeah, you are here, which we are thankful for. We always love when you can be here on the program. Big up to all those who tune in from the start. I see Rob Smith still in the building, and he might have even dropped the first comment. So yeah, man, maximum respect for taking the time out to hear the content. I think that people would have been able to learn a bit from what I had to bring to the table today if they hadn't known already. A couple of things that people have said out there. One of the things that we did want to say is an actual truth is that Guatemala did make some changes that could deem their squad to be the B team, like what Kevin is saying here. Because Guatemala B side we played and beat up. I don't think we're celebrating too much. I don't know. I mean, look, at the end of the day, we played BVI on a bad pitch, and Guatemala's B team is way better than BVI's team that we played. And we basically got a 1-0 victory. Now, regardless of what team Guatemala put out there, these players are not bad players that played. It's not like, some of these players who are the B team players now, like at this current stage, have been starters for Guatemala before. So they're not inexperienced. I mean, apart from the forward that started and the number 10 behind him, all these players have experience as well at this level. So it's not like it was just this, experiment with a bunch of new people. A lot of these players have been capped many times for Guatemala before, and some of them even were in the team that were faced at the last Gold Cup. So, I think we do need to tell the truth and say that it wasn't the best available team that they could have played. But at the same time, I'm not going to say that their B team is this drastic change from their A team. I think one of the strengths of Guatemala is most of their players pretty much play at a certain level, and they don't really go much below that level. You know what I'm saying? So, we saw that in the last game against Damrep. The starters started, they were doing crap. He made 2 subs who were players who started in this game that came on, and those 2 subs were a big part of why the game changed. So, look, it's a nice cop-out for them to say. But while I will acknowledge that it was some changes in the team, there was enough experience on that pitch and enough first-team players previously on the pitch to say they still had enough to cause us problems, And is this our best team? I guess you could argue a few players out. So we need to see what our best team really looks like when Pinnock is back, when Bobby Reed is back. I'd say those were the 2 omissions that weren't there that you would argue would get into the first team when they're here. So let's see how it looks when everybody is in the team come the Gold Cup. We're supposed to add, so the Gold Cup squad, I think it's the 24, 25, 26 players who Antonio, Bobby Reed, and was it Madasil? I think it was Madasil. Yeah, bro. Love tackle too much about Bosless. Who would have as Jamaica's designated penalty taker? I would give it to King if he on the field. I'm not a fan of him, however. I mean, King's track record lately is great, but I probably wouldn't give it to King, though. I would probably say, I mean, I know his last penalty in the stadium was saved, but I'd probably go back to Damari Gray as the #1 penalty kick taker, to be honest. I just think he strikes the ball cleaner than anybody else. Because even that save that Turner made in the stadium, it's not like no, not Madasil. Oh, Madasil's not on that Gold Cup squad. Damn, I thought he was one of the 24, 25, 26 people. Am I just making that up? Oh no, it was Antonio, Campbell, and Bobby Reed were the 24, 25, 26 people in that Gold Cup list here, right? But that's still not on there at all. Yeah. That's true. Wishful thinking. Gray missed. Yeah, he got saved. I mean, he didn't miss. He got saved. I guess that's missing too. Can't wait for Lewis Baker papers to complete. Yeah, but we need another body in midfield. I would love that. As far as I know, yes. As far as I know, it is true. Hopefully, Lewis Baker will be available for September. That's the hope. Anyway, people, convo can go on and on and on. Again, I just want to say maximum respect to all those who took part in the vote as well. Warner Brown unanimously taking that one home with 59% of the 57% of the vote. John Russell second, D Gray third, Damian Lowe in fourth for the man of the match. Thanks again for the 100 likes, people. We really do appreciate it. We got up to 173, so maybe we can get the likes to 200 for the first time ever on a video. That would be great. But people, thanks again for the support. You guys definitely turned up and tuned in and showed out, and we really do appreciate it. Again, keep staying involved, dropping your scores in the comment section, because without you guys, the show gets really, really boring. So we really do appreciate it. And people, you know, we'll be back tomorrow. I'm going to make a stream, set it up. 7 o'clock my time, 6 o'clock in Jamaica will be the live draw. I will turn on the camera right around before it starts, and we will be here to hear that and react to it live. And I will go ahead and set up what the groups will start to look like already. I don't believe that the fixtures would be out as yet. We know what windows they're going to happen, but I think they're waiting for the teams to be drawn into the groups, and then we'll figure out what teams we play when. But yeah, man. Yes, MF, you missed class today. It was a great session, man. It was like, graduate level analysis being happening on the show today. But yeah, man, watch it back. You will enjoy it. You should hear some good takes and hear what I have to say about the game. Have you been working on your DJ skills? No, I'm not working on no DJ skills. I finally listened to my friend them from Jamaica, who always told me that I should not DJ and I should only rap, because if I'm going to be an artist, that is where my true talent is. So yeah, easy shide should be 10-0. Wait, which side? We're not getting a side yet. We don't know where I play yet. I talk about Guatemala first game in a Gold Cup. But yeah, tomorrow, people, I'll be back. I'm gonna do the channel start. I'm gonna do the live draw. So yeah, we'll have the draw. We'll react to it in real time, and that should be a fun exercise to do. And then, of course, we get right into the Gold Cup, June the 16th, where we face Guatemala again. Luckily, Guatemala, yeah, man. I don't know about 10-0, but if we apply ourselves like we did last game, even with them putting their quote-unquote A team onto the field, I think we should be able to get over the line. I think it is true, Richard Green. I believe it is, that he's going to St. Mirren in the Scottish Premiership. I saw enough articles out of Scotland to kind of corroborate everything we're getting out of the Observer and the Glean and all the outlets in Jamaica. So yeah, I do think it was a nominal fee. We know the word nominal means less than market value. So if you to go by that, his market value based on transfer market is about 100K. So I'm assuming it's somewhere in the region of 50 to 80 or something like that K. I would hope it's more for Cavalier's sake, but I'm sure St. Mirren and Cavalier would have had some agreement for some kind of sell-on clause as well. I'll be shocked if that's not in there. So hopefully the details come out so we know exactly what happened, and want to congratulate King if it is indeed about to happen. I think it's due time, and yeah, hopefully you can go there and solidify yourself, and game time. That's the key. But yeah, big up, people. Thanks for tuning in. At the end of each show on this program, you will hear these words, and you're going to hear them right now. I am Jason Gooner. This is Jason Gooner TV. And until next time, come on, reggae boys.